All right, and we are live. What is going on, my specialist SPC here, and welcome to the anniversary podcast today. As you guys see, I have got 4 guests with me today. I couldn't do this by myself, so I had to bring in some guys. So, starting off, we have got, I got to get my directions right. Over here, we have got the Magical Midget. He's been here since pretty much the beginning. He was here during all of my Battlefront 2015 live streams. So, Travis, thank you so much for being here.
How's it going, everybody? Doing good? All right.
And up next over here, as you guys see, we've got my Takalorian co-host. We've got King's Comics back once again.
Happy to be here, always.
Yes. And down over here, we have got my guest from the May the 4th live stream we did. I got George the Jedi back once again.
Hello there. Good to be back.
Glad to have you back, man. And we got Ethan. Oh man, we got my man Ethan. I had to have him back on too. He's been a big part of the channel as well. And since I'm celebrating 100 subs, I had to get him and Travis back in here because again, they've been here for the longest time. So Ethan, thank you very much for being here as well.
I'm glad to be back, buddy.
And same thing to you, Andy. Thank you for being here again.
Always and dang straight.
You've been dealing with me a lot here these last few weeks, so.
And I've enjoyed just about every second of it. What can I say?
You told me to come over.
Oh, I didn't know you were coming over already. I just started my podcast.
Oh yeah, I thought you were like start in like 10 minutes. Where I was like, oh, I better hurry.
Oh my god!
Well, thanks for stopping by.
Well, you're welcome. I guess I should have brought my own headset.
My neighbor is here. My Mike.
Yep.
Yo!
Hey.
That didn't sound right.
Yeah.
Sorry, Magical Midget would have said hi too, but he just took a sip of Code Red Mountain Dew. This podcast
It's
is
actually a
non-sponsored.
merry mashup.
Oh, that's actually
It's the same thing. It is the same thing.
It is.
it
Might
is
as well
not the same thing. There's a difference. Like, man,
Well, okay.
I'm gonna tell you right now that brand is a ripoff because they don't actually get dew from mountains.
That's like saying Coke isn't made from
I'm done.
Anymore.
Yeah, we're not going to talk
Well,
about
it used to be. It used to be made of Coke.
this is true. Big facts right here. This is.
So
They don't talk about that enough.
No, you're getting it first, right from here. First-hand knowledge.
Gosh,
Because knowledge is power.
I went to go see my girlfriend this weekend, and I was driving back, and there was this gas station called Buc-ee's. You know, it's like the gas station mecca, I guess, down in Texas. So I stopped there, and they've got a Mountain Dew on tap I've never seen, like Goji Citrus or whatever. And I guess I'm saying that because I can't keep track of all the like Mountain Dew flavors that comes out, which is a good thing because I used to be fanatical about it back in the Halo Gamer Fuel days.
Well, Japan, and I don't know if they still have it, they had a pure grape like Mountain Dew flavor. It wasn't like Black Thunder or Black Lightning or anything. It was just a pure grape flavor, and it never made it over to the US, but that was a flavor I just wanted to try because it's supposed to taste more like Crush, I guess, or Fanta.
Oh yeah, huh?
Yeah, but you can only get it in Japan. So speaking of Japan, I guess one of the other reasons to go is just to try their one flavor of Mountain Dew that they have over here. You can't get over to the U.S.
have you seen like the billions of flavors for Kit Kats they have?
I was gonna say,
Yeah, I have. Yep.
Like I've had their green tea Kit Kat, and it's actually decent.
What flavor did I see? That I think they had a Krispy Kreme flavor.
That'd be interesting.
I think they had a Krispy Kreme flavor. That one I definitely would want to try. That looks delicious. God, I wish we still had a Krispy Kreme up here.
Wait, where are you at? Where are you at?
I'm in Fargo, North Dakota.
Oh yeah, rip.
Austin and Travis are in Bismarck.
Okay.
Yep.
Sheen from Jimmy Neutron thinks North Dakota is just a myth. So thank you for debunking.
This is true. It is a myth. It's definitely.
You guys want to meet my pet horse?
Oh hey, what's up, Kellen? How's it going? Hey, Kellen King. Good last name.
Oh.
Okay, nope.
No, Ethan's held out. Okay, so
Matt, you can drink my bathwater anytime.
So wait, when he says every cosplay, okay, cosplayer. Let's talk about that. He said cosplay, huh? Interesting.
I used to cosplay as Naruto. What can I say?
Oh.
And I'm like the spitting image of Goku. Look at me. Like this is Goku material right here.
Oh, yeah. So
I can only do skinny characters. My most famous one is the cabbage guy from The Last Airbender. I have like a weird story. One time I was at a convention called C2E2, and this dude like took I bring actual cabbages, and I put them on the floor because I'm supposed to like freak out and all that. One dude grabbed one and started eating it, and I ran away because I didn't want to get sued for getting sick. And his friend wanted to have some, and I'm pretty sure they were both straight, and they started macking to get the cabbage. I was horrified.
Well, wait, what was the convention?
C2E2.
It's
Chicago's Comic-Con.
Oh, okay.
So all the big celebrities are there. Like Jason David Frank is almost there every year. Stan Lee's one of Stan Lee's last few conventions was at C2E2.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
I thought that guy would actually live forever. I mean, exaggeration, but I mean, he was in pretty good health for being 95.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a sad truth about Stan Lee, right? Is not to get like morbid or too downcast, but he had his vision was failing, I think, in his later years. Especially
I think his mind was going too. He was at a convention signing autographs, and I don't remember what it was, but he had to have like one of his assistants like tell him like his name every time he signed an autograph. So like Stan Lee, and he had to do that for every person. So, but I think part of that is because for his age, I think that's kind of why you don't see Betty White that much, is because I think she's starting to slow down. Yeah. Because, I don't care how good of health you are when you get to be that age. I mean, you can't really rush your body like that.
Oh, heck no. And I mean, that's the thing, right? It's especially like, it's the conundrum. I guess I'm going to say conundrum because I want to sound like I know SAT words, right? But it's the if you've got like people that we like, these celebrities that we prioritize, then they deserve a break. They deserve rest. If you really love them, it's great to meet them. But if you really love these celebrities, you should want them to be able to be benched, be able to watch the fruits of their labor. Well,
I give Stan Lee a lot of credit too, because he wanted to go to conventions. He wanted to make cameos in his final movies. That was all him. He wasn't asked to do it, but there's a price to pay, unfortunately.
Oh yeah.
I think with like the cameo thing, they could have just gone to his house and done green screen, and that would be fun.
Yeah. But I mean, people could have probably told the difference. Well, I guess you never know.
Or the technology now, if you just do enough light coloring, like correctness, you could make it work.
All right. Are they actually going to put Deadpool in the Marvel movies now with cameos? Or is that just a myth?
I think it's a myth. Like, it could happen, but I don't see it.
I don't know, man.
I can't. I don't know. I could see Ryan Reynolds doing it.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? Is the problem? I mean, not problem. Like the good thing about Marvel is that they can do anything at this point. You know what I mean? They managed to hashtag cancel James Gunn, then bring him back. I mean, after the dude signed up for multiple movies with DC. I mean, they managed to turn around a Black Panther movie like almost out of the freaking ether. As well as Captain Marvel. I don't even remember the timeline for Captain Marvel, but
no, I don't either.
Yeah, I feel like I knew more about Black Panther than I did Captain Marvel, like going into it, despite like
that final fight scene was like literally finished like the day before the movie, if I'm not mistaken. So that's why it kind of looks a little janky.
That's kind of like with the Avengers, like the original one, the shawarma scene. Chris Evans has his like mouth covered because he's got a beard grown out for a movie he's shooting because they like shot it way post production.
Why didn't they just have him shave it?
Because he was shooting another movie.
They had a contract. That sounded like what happened with Superman with the weird CG thing. He was contract to keep a mustache, and they couldn't shave it off, so they had a CGI a mouth onto him, and that's why everyone was like, Superman's face looks weird in some scenes.
Wait, which Superman movie? Man of Steel?
No, Justice League.
Yep,
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Because I think he was doing the Mission Impossible, and he had a mustache in that.
Yep. Oh man.
Well, he was
They should've
probably
just used deepfake.
yeah.
I saw an Instagram clip. I mean, just a clip of like someone deep faking it, and it looks better than like what you got in the movie.
There's this one guy who like has been deepfaked the Han Solo movie. So he put Harrison Ford's face onto the young actor, and my God, it was fantastic looking. You need to look.
You know, I always thought that was a unique thing, especially what they did with like Fast and Furious 7 with Paul Walker.
Yeah.
But now it's like you look at it and it's like, well, it's not that great just because now it's been done so many times.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Deepfake is like a new technology where it's like it's using algorithms to fit it more, and it's starting to look better. Where like in Fast and Furious, it wasn't there yet.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was there, but well, actually, I'll tell you the first deepfake was if you guys remember watching The Crow with Brandon Lee, they had to put his face. I mean, it was still, but there was scenes they had to put his face on top of the body double.
Yep.
You know, that was the very early deepfake, and that was I can't imagine how much that would have cost back then. Ooh.
Yeah, because I mean, like a lot of that with more practical effects were like 50-50 back then. You know what I mean? It's kind of like why the first Iron Man was so genuine. I was talking to someone and I was like, dude, why can't they just go back to like Iron Man 1, like the Iron Man 1 level special effects? And like it was like 50-50. And I was like,
right.
I didn't think about that. You know, it was like that doesn't have to all be real, but it also doesn't have to all be CG.
Damn.
Yep. Yeah. And that's where I'm kind of like, a little CG, yeah, but a lot of it, if it's a whole movie, then it's like, I kind of steer away from it a little more. I don't know.
But then you get, I think like, because like a lot of people think like the original prequels from like Star Wars, like 1, 2, and 3, like especially Episode 3, were like all CG. When it's like a lot of that was actually pretty practical.
Right.
Like
now, I gotta ask your guys' opinion. Like, Princess Leia flying through space.
We're not talking
The Last
about it.
Jedi. Not talking about it. Yeah.
It was a little ridiculous, but in the same. Well, yeah, it's ridiculous looking, but I can understand her having Jedi Force powers.
No, bro.
Kind of already set up.
Not even ridiculous looking. It's like Carrie Fisher had already passed away before they like wrapped up The Last Jedi. It's like there was a perfect moment to be like, oh yeah, let's send her off, you know?
Yeah, but it was Disney and they weren't planning their things through.
Clearly, yeah, fair enough.
Well, no, she was still alive during Last Jedi. It was Rise of Skywalker. She was
but she died before the premiere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh well, that's
I have returned.
Return of the King. Let's go.
We were talking so much shit.
I was like trying to like keep up with what you guys were talking about. I'm like, I'll just jump in.
Did you see Matt's post? That I'm like a wet dream and a cosplay or something like that.
Oh man,
guys take it over for that little bit. Anyway, hi everybody who is here. Anyway, I guess we can kind of get started on the topic. Thank you guys for holding down the fort. I appreciate that very much.
Mm-hmm.
But 1 year of the podcast, man. I mean, this has been quite a very fun experience I've had. I mean, I've gotten to meet quite a handful of you guys. I mean, obviously I've met Andy and George through this podcasting stuff, and I've enjoyed every single podcast I've done. I mean, again, thank you to all four of you guys for being here. I really do appreciate you guys being able to.
You got to meet me.
A freaking course.
Yay.
And Matt says you're welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Really much appreciated. So
my girlfriend added that to she likes. I think we like made a workout playlist together just because we were getting to know each other, and she added like "You're welcome," you know, like from the Moana soundtrack, and I was like, "Oh, how'd you know I like this? Like, I like this." She's like, "Oh, I added it because you're pretty full of yourself," and I was like,
"The animated one, right? Live action."
Yeah.
Wait, there's a live action one?
Yeah.
What?
Live action Mulan.
No,
Moana.
Moana.
Sorry.
Man, Ethan, where's your head at, dude? Come on.
Sorry.
Take your head out of the
Mulan.
clouds.
Yeah.
Mulan.
Although the live action Milan is a good movie in my opinion, but yes.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't either. I think we're gonna watch it tomorrow.
Bits I've seen, the editing looks bad. Like they're not good
is
at
very
like
choppy.
structuring their shots.
It is very choppy. I feel like it's I don't know how to describe it. It's
They
pieced together very
skip
weirdly.
motions. They skip motions.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I don't want to sound like a bad person, but I've been using not to get political. I've been using the Hong Kong controversy to make an excuse for the fact that I keep forgetting to watch it. So
That's not political at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
my girlfriend does want to see it though, and I'm using my roommate's or my friend's Disney Plus, so I'm not just going to be giving the password out. So we can both watch it together.
Just as a question, can you guys hear my fan from my laptop in
No.
the background? It's not okay.
No.
Shockingly, no.
I can hear Ashley though. Well, all right, guys, we've each got a topic that we want to talk about each. So, who wants to start?
Spin the wheel, and that's how we'll do it.
Okay.
I'm too shy.
Ethan, were you bringing up Naruto? Because whose topic was anime?
Ethan. All right, we're starting with you then.
All right. Well, basically, I wanted to talk about. So I saw the premiere of Attack on Titan season 4, and I guess I just wanted to talk about how much. I guess if you want to bring CG into this, how much it's gone from hand drawn to CG. One thing I noticed, I don't know if you guys are familiar with MAPPA, MAPPA.
Yep.
But so they basically do a lot of that. I don't know how to describe it, but it's kind of like a glossy CGI when they want to animate something. And that's one thing.
Hidoro, right?
I think so, yeah. And that's one thing that I noticed last night with Attack on Titan's first episode was with like the Titans, like the Armor Titan and the Beast Titan, they had brought that in. There was now before, like in seasons 2 and 3, they brought little snippets of that in. But now I've read that that's pretty much going to be a thing the whole season, where it's, now it's going to be all CG. Whereas like in season 1, the Titans were hand drawn. And I guess I've just noticed how much compared to like the 90s and the 80s, how much, I don't know if anime has kind of gone downhill or if it's just to save money. But I like to talk about the creativity. It feels like when it's hand drawn, there's just more creativity about it. And I've noticed that there's a lot of censorship with it today that I'm kind of like, well, it's a cartoon. I guess if it was a live action, I could see that. But like compared to the 80s, there was one anime that Austin and I watched. Well, actually, I introduced it. It's called Violence Jack, and that anime had everything in it from impaling people with wooden poles, and you see everything. And well, there's a little bit of rape in there. I mean, this anime went full fledged, and then you just kind of see how stuff like that, like DBZ, used to be so violent with you'd cut someone's limb off and you see everything in it, and now it's like I don't see that with anime that much anymore, and I'm kind of like, what happened? Like, how come everything's kind of censored? Because like in Attack on Titan's violence, there's always some kind of censorship. Like they have the violence in there, but they kind of censor it a little bit to where you notice it if you ever read the manga versus the anime. Yeah. And I've kind of like wondered, like, is it an FCC thing, or is it like depending on the channel? And I mean, coming from Japan, they really don't give they don't care. They've always gone full out with the violence. So I guess my question is, like, why do you guys think that's been censored? Like, in your guys' opinion? Because I guess I don't know.
I mean, top of my head is going to go with just the I kind of use the term, right, Austin, like in our latest Mandalorian review, like Disneyfication, if you will, is like the more approachable, the more wider of a net you can spread for the demographic. Like, so if you go PG-13 with something, you're going to get more viewers. You know what I mean? It's like watching Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's incredibly applicable to to any age range. Anyone can enter it and watch. But the show also literally deals with themes of racism, genocide. I mean, violence, imprisonment, PTSD. I mean, it has a lot of themes that realistically aren't violent, but at the same time are very controversial to talk about if not done correctly. But
it hits a little closer to home.
Yeah, but then you talk about violence and it's more corporeal. You're seeing it just like nudity. So based on cultural perception, it's like, it's like you got to think about how weird it is that like Call of Duty games are kind of the highest selling thing. And I like Call of Duty. I'm just bad at it, But it's like you got to think about how weird it is.
Same.
That, goes to the highest selling games, despite being that violent. But then when you make a rated R movie of the same like amount of violence, you're not going to get nearly as much of a box office rate of return.
Yeah, that's true too. I guess I can kind of use like Dragon Ball Super in comparison too.
Oh yeah.
Like, Austin, you can agree that the violence was toned down way too much.
The thing is even in Super, there's like not really a lot of violence. Like in the old DBZ, you actually would see, battle damage and you'd see blood. And like you said earlier too, you could see like if Piccolo got his arm chopped off, you'd see it.
You could see the muscles or whatever. Yeah.
And Goku in the original, and I've got the manga, oddly enough, I got the manga on my shelf of where it transitions from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z, because it was rebranded as Dragon Ball Z to be edgier in America, I guess. But it's like Goku, when Goku holds Raditz, he gets a hole blown through him. It's not just like a burn mark, but he's got a freaking gaping hole. And it's like,
like now you see Super right now, and you don't get that same violence. Like don't get me wrong, there are some arcs in there that are really good. Like I can say it, I'm a sucker for the Zamasu arc. I actually think that's, for me personally, it's the most enjoyable because it seems the most like DBZ altogether. But I mean, you cannot deny either that the Tournament of Power stuff is probably top notch, great Dragon Ball entertainment. But no, I can agree with what Ethan's saying. I mean, I've watched a lot of older animes, and they're not scared to like show the violence. Where I feel like nowadays they're trying to make it more like friendly to get like another bigger audience instead of just
to kind of include everybody. But Dragon Ball Z, like all the unedited stuff, that was more like 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds watching that stuff like I used to, and so it's kind of like, well, they can, I don't know. It's like kids that were 7, 8 years old back then were watching it. It's like they could still just do it with the violence they had.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I guess the most violent scene in DBZ was the part where Cell absorbs that guy in the green suit. It's like, oh man, that scene scarred me as a kid. Ooh.
No, dude, that was terrifying. And in fact, someone pointed this out about how censored Yu-Gi-Oh is, because it's like the Funimation effect. Whenever it gets brought over to America, usually that's when it really gets like run through the ringer.
Yeah,
you mean the 4Kids?
4Kids, my bad. You're right. 4Kids. Great call, George. Thank you. Yeah, but so think about this. Like in the original Yu-Gi-Oh, like the manga and the anime in Japan, like if you were defeated, you would just die. You would just die. You would just die. But in the American, like the American and the Western animation, if you were defeated in a battle, you would get banished to the Shadow Realm. So in other words, if you were defeated, your soul would be sent to Limbo or some type of like Shadow Realm where it's like stuck there for eternity. It's like, man, I'd rather just die. Like, how is this better?
And I kind of think like all the people that were challenged to play that game, it's like, how heavy of a set of balls do you have? Because it's like, oh yeah, I'll play, even though I have the potential to be banished to the Shadow Realm or die. Yeah, let's play.
I think another thing is like investors and like commercials. Like, like we see it with YouTube now. Like if you're too out there with certain things, investors aren't going to be interested, and you need money to make this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I've kind of noticed that. Well, hopefully he's not watching, but like PewDiePie, I guess he's kind of gone down that aisle a little bit.
Well, he's also trying to change himself because like he used to be very toxic, and from what I've seen, he's tried to actually make his life better. And from what I can tell, he's actually become a genuinely good person.
Actually, me and a friend were like talking about this too, right? Because it's like, especially when you get into comedy, you know, it's like, because you gotta, oh gosh, hate to get, I'm trying not to get political or social justicey, but it's, yeah, I know, but
hey, I
like,
don't care.
It's like the whole point of like, you know, comedy, right? Is to like push the envelope or like, you know, like push some button or like, you know, to make some type of, I'm not saying that's all of it because you got slapstick and really innocent stuff, but you know, by and far, like a lot of your, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Charlie Chaplin or whatever, like a lot of your, you know, a lot of your comedy is going to become from like kind of controversial points of view, you know, but so from that stance, it's like, it is a little bit dated, but then when you start to digress from it, you start to like kind of revise history from it and all that, you know, like PewDiePie or whatever, then you start to detract from, oh yeah, why is this guy not that funny or why is this guy not that edgy anymore? And it's like, oh, because his audience by and large said he was not appropriate. But
right.
You know, and I'm not saying that's not wrong. I'm not saying that's not right. I'm just saying, like, you know, it's, you gotta, you know, you gotta accept what you ask for in that case, I guess.
Right.
Well, I think you also have to know your audience too.
Yeah.
Well, and yeah, that obviously would apply to probably today's anime too. Yeah, it's like, and honestly, don't get me wrong. When Mappa animated the first Attack on Titan episode, it didn't look really glossy. Like you really can't notice the difference between, like, if I didn't know any better, if someone hadn't pointed that out, I would have thought it was hand drawn. Like the part with the Titans, it would have been hand drawn. But it, you know, then was like, oh, Mappa ruined this. It's all CGI. It's like, well, shit, I couldn't tell the difference.
There's a fan show called A Fox in Space, where it's basically it's Star Fox, but in the style of like an 80s to 90s anime.
Hey, what up, Levi? How's it going?
Hey, Levi. And he's using 3D models and then drawing over them to make it look 2D. And it's hard to tell, like, unless you're really looking for it, to tell that it's 3D models. I highly recommend looking at this stuff.
Well, that's
he only has
like,
one. He only has one episode out, but he does a bunch of mini shorts of progress of the series. Sorry to interrupt you, King.
No, you were speaking. I was interrupting you. I was just going to take it back to that kind of 50-50 Iron Man 1 style, like animation. Is like 3D is a beautiful thing. You know, CGI is a beautiful thing, but it's like when it's used to cheat people of like why they watch anime in the first place, you know, it kind of cheapens the whole experience.
I'm sorry. I feel like this is like CNN right now. There's like there's just like worldwide news on the bottom.
Discuss. Never mind.
No, you're all wrong.
on a lighter note, you were talking about Naruto, and man, you talked about the consequences of quarantine. I started diving deep into like Naruto and Bleach lore. I even started like getting back into Yu Yu Hakusho for a little bit. Like, man,
so
I was in a dark place.
You know what I love about Naruto though is that kind of like it can definitely pull off the comedy and the dark route at the same time. Whereas most animes like Attack on Titan is dark, Bleach I consider dark. You know, Full Metal Alchemist, the drama, the you know, the dark like Death Note. Yeah. But Naruto, what I love about that is it can pull off both. Like it can be funny, but it also has a dark streak to it.
Yeah.
I would say that Naruto, I think they've kind of bumped up on the violence a little bit, or the graphicness, if you will. I know that's not a word, but I think they've bumped that up over the years. But like I said, you know, that was a show that was so great because it started out as a comedy, which, hey, fine. A lot of people love that. A lot of people didn't. Or excuse me, I should say the transition. A lot of people loved it. A lot of people didn't. Mm-hmm. Personally, I loved it because they were able to manipulate it and make it work. The writers were, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I can willingly say I've never watched Naruto.
Really? Like not a single episode?
No, man. I don't know why. It doesn't look like my kind of like anime. Like it's the same thing with like One Piece. Like there's so many people who like.
I like classic One Piece. I don't like the new the manga's still going.
I don't have that much time on my hand, like to like get into One Piece.
Isn't it like 500 episodes or something?
Oh, it's more than that.
I think it's like 800 now.
Yeah.
Nah, dude, it's because the manga
And they still haven't found the One Piece.
No, no, man. That One Piece is just out there. They cannot find it.
I think it'd be
Sorry.
funny if it was like a wooden chest. They finally find the One Piece. They open it, and it's just a scroll that says "IOU."
What's gonna happen is they're gonna find it's like, congratulations, you found the one piece of many, and now you have to find the others.
I was going to say there's a chest, right? And there's just like a mirror, or the chest is empty, and then the main cast is going to realize there was no treasure. We were the treasure. The one piece was our friendship, the bonds we made throughout this entire journey. That was the one.
So Kung Fu Panda. You just recreated Kung Fu Panda,
When you put it that way,
which isn't a bad movie.
oh no, like I was surprised.
I'll love anything that Jack Black's in.
The sequel's the best one in my opinion, but I've only seen the first two.
Well, one thing I want to cover real quick before we move on to other topics is, how do you guys think that when they turn an anime into like a live action movie, like they did with Ghost in the Shell, and obviously it was always received poorly, and it seems like anytime they turn, an anime into a live action movie, or like Death Note with Willem Dafoe, how do you guys think that they could improve that? Like, how could they actually make a good live action movie based off an anime?
Come on, man. Death Note was amazing.
Well, my idea would be
Death Note, and that's without getting into the Japanese live action ones, man.
Yeah.
so if we were gonna do an American version, I would say don't try and recreate the source material, but do in the same universe. Like, I've always thought, like, if they were trying to do My Hero Academia in a live action version, like a Netflix thing, don't make it the characters from the show, but do something where it's like another part of the world dealing with that scenarios or situations. So like, call it My Hero America, and it deals with students in the American side of the world rather than the cities of Japan and retelling Deku's story or whatever.
Well, and
Just
that's
in live action, yeah.
That's also an interesting point, right? Because when you bring that up, it's like, I mean, obviously, like, My Hero Academia is based a lot off of the idea of Western superheroes, and All Might trained in America. That's why, like, he's got the Superman-ish look, and then his attacks are named after U.S. states. So actually, Matt, I'm gonna argue with you on this one. Okay, you ready?
Oh gosh.
Okay. So some would argue that Dragon Ball Evolution is the single most important thing that has happened to the Dragon Ball franchise. Because when Dragon Ball Evolution came out, it was so freaking bad that Akira Toriyama was like, oh no, we're not going out like this. So he came out of the woodworks and made Dragon Ball Super as a response to how bad Dragon Ball Evolution was, is what I've heard.
And then Super turned out to be no better.
Like, I can
Let's just say-
respect Super. I can respect, or I can appreciate Super. It's not my thing. I miss Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball was peak for me. Dragon Ball Z was awesome, but like, Super's not my thing.
Yeah. So basically, George, what you meant, like, is with, if they make a live action, have it actually take place in a real, like, city or state or country.
Do something that's like in the universe, but not the main characters. So like, do a different perspective or story rather than tell the same story and make it suitable for whatever country.
So kind of like how they did with like Resident Evil, like they didn't put any of the video game characters in there.
Yeah.
Until like the 5th or 6th movie, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I guess I don't know a lot about. I was gonna say, I guess I don't know a lot about anime. Like, I don't watch a lot of it, but I mean, I think I can understand what George is saying. Like, I feel like if you try to duplicate the same thing, you're either gonna make people really happy, or you're gonna make a lot of people really mad because you're gonna not necessarily do it 100%. And sometimes it's just easier and better just to, different scenario, or kind of same scenario, but different people, and just in respect to the original. Or
but I feel like you're gonna piss people off one way or the other.
Well,
even if you do it the right way, there's always gonna be something wrong.
To George, so to y'all's point, right? Wait, to y'all's point, right? Is with adapting it. I mean, like that's not a bad call because that's literally what when you get into like being a comic fan, right? Comics, you got multiverses and all this jazz, and like Marvel tried to recreate the comics 1-to-1 in the beginning, and that was all right. But then they got more adventurous and started to deviate from the comics, and that's when they really start to hit their stride. Once they had given fans enough faith in the series for that to like fly. So, like, yeah, to that point, like doing that, like with anime, like if you're westernizing it, would not be too bad of a call, but I guess we're going to have to see how the Monster Hunter movie does.
And I do want to point out that Scarlett Johansson did do an awesome job as Motoko Kusanagi, and the live action Ghost in the Shell. I'll just throw that out there.
So that's the thing, though, is like Ghost in the Shell actually shockingly, if they had tried a little harder, and I need to watch the whole thing. Everything I've seen from it has not impressed me, but like Ghost in the Shell works as a Western movie automatically because the whole point of Ghost in the Shell is bodies are shells, right? You can upload your AI, your consciousness to a body. So it's like you don't need to try too hard to make it culturally relevant. But so, Ghost in the Shell could easily work. Same thing with Cowboy Bebop could easily translate to a Western movie.
Heck, even Speed Racer worked a bit. Like, that movie was actually pretty good from what I've heard.
I mean, it was visually pretty like awesome. Just like, I guess everything else was my understanding was, or visually fun. I'll say visually fun.
One of my friends who passed away, who was like really into Speed Racer, was ashamed that she couldn't see the movie because she had epilepsy problems. So she would have died watching it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Man.
Before we move on, do I have anything else? I don't think at this time. So if we want to move on to the next topic, we could. Sorry if mine was vague, everybody.
Hey, man,
I think all of ours are kind of vague enough, and then you can add on to it later.
Yeah.
Just keep the conversation going, man.
I'm like a dog who chases cars. I wouldn't know what to do with it if I caught it. I just do.
Serious. I love doing impersonations of that character.
Oh gosh,
so good. So I guess George, I think we're gonna go to George, then we'll go to Andy, and then we'll go to Travis, and then we can end up with mine or whatever.
Okay. So Star Wars media is being a lot controversial lately because it's either hit or miss with its storying. One thing that seems to start to be picking up is their Star Wars games, especially after Fallen Order. You have a text message. You should probably either turn off your phone. I'm quiet on the set, dang it.
Yeah.
But one of my first starting things is, what do you want to see from the future Star Wars games besides EA letting go of control?
Man, I thought EA did really good with Fallen Order, if that's any kind of defense.
I mean, broke clocks right twice a day or whatever they say. I mean, come on. EA did great with Mass Effect 2. Then Mass Effect 3 was Mass Effect 3. So they can still make good games.
Mm-hmm. Personally, I didn't think EA really had to let go. I mean, I know Battlefront 2 didn't really do hot, but
well, at least at the beginning, it was a very rocky start, but then they started adding in like the Clone Wars DLC, and then the game really took off. They added in Obi-Wan, Dooku, Grievous, Anakin, all the clones, Geonosis. I mean, I put a lot of hours into that game, man. That game got really fun. Although, like we just said, like it was very rocky start. It was a lot of glitching and boots from the servers and all that. And I know Travis can attest to this because every time we tried to play, it always kick him out or his internet would be crappy, and it was rough. It was a rough start.
You could have probably made an entire video compilation of me rage quitting trying to play that game. That's like one of the very few games that I've ever actually rage quit because it was just horrible. At least in the beginning. I don't think it's. I think it was turned out to be a pretty good game once they got the servers in check. But yeah, I guess that'd be my thing. Is if you're gonna launch a game, like you better have servers to back it up, at least right away. Well, and I understand that each game has their bugs and everything, but my goodness, that was awful. I would say at least the first couple weeks, if not the first couple months of that game's release, it was interesting.
Well, I mean, even then, it's like, I'm not going to say I'm an avid Redditor, but I do read the Reddit or whatever people say. So I read it, and it's like the funniest thing in the world to me is that I think EA's response to one of the EA's response or comments on the state of Battlefront 2 is the most downvoted Reddit comment of all time. I think it's got negative 50,000 or negative 5,000
like that.
Yeah.
What was the comment again, or what did it say?
We want to give players a feeling of pride and accomplishment because it takes 80 hours to unlock Darth Vader or whatever, at the time, or you can just pay to play.
Yeah, it was you had to grind for 60,000 credits to unlock Vader or Luke, because somebody did a thing, and it would take anywhere between 60 to 80 hours of gameplay just to do it. So you literally spend your whole week, because you only get, even if you do well, the maximum amount of credits you'll get is about 400 to 500.
Mm-hmm.
And and then finally they just lowered the price, and it was what was it, 15,000 or something, I think.
So basically they gave up. They're like, you know what, let's just reduce it down to $40 instead of 60.
And now the credits don't do anything. You get a bunch of in-game credits, and you can't buy anything with them. So your total will just go up and up and up and up, and there's nothing to buy because they basically gave you everything.
Yeah, but that's also the problem with you shouldn't have to, if you get if you pay a premium price for a game, you shouldn't have to pay for premium content. Unless it's additional, if it changes the literal way you play the game, getting a new character, then you shouldn't have to explicitly pay for that. I mean, unless it's part of DLC with another map, another level. I don't know. They should
have done the CS:GO model and do skins.
Yeah.
CS:GO, now it's free, but back in the day you paid $15. You got everything, and the only thing you could pay for was skins, which then you could sell to make actual money with.
Or you know what people would buy? If you just let people build their own lightsabers in game, you know what I mean? Because it doesn't necessarily matter. It's not going to affect gameplay. But I guarantee you, if someone could recreate Kylo Ren's lightsaber by
I was just going to say that.
Yep. They would eat that up. People would be buying loot boxes and all that because it doesn't affect their gameplay, but everybody wants their own freaking lightsaber. Went to Disney World. I got my own lightsaber from Disney World. Let me tell you, best $34 I've ever spent, or however much my parents' money I spent on it.
Well, George, did you ever see sorry to interrupt you, Andy, about the lightsaber. What was a glitch though, Austin, that you had problems with in Battlefront that you were kind of pissed about? You were saying that somebody was taking your wins and you made or not your win, or I forget what it was.
No, there was a glitch where if you press the X button or whatever button fast enough, you could always pick who you could spawn on, and you could just sit there and you could keep just bouncing back and forth, and you could just keep piling up more and more points, because the more points you gather, you can end up becoming a hero or get infantry or something like that. But
yeah, I joined late after all the fixes because I didn't have the money.
And dude, yeah, I called it the instant transmission glitch. That's what I called it. You literally would just bounce back and forth between these other guys and just keep gathering up points, and then literally the first 30 seconds of the game, you've already got 3 or 4 different heroes out, and it's where's the fairness in this, man? There are 3 heroes out and we don't have any. Our highest guy right now is 1,000 points, and it's 45 to 6,000 credits in order to get a hero, and you're getting that in seconds. That's no.
I don't know if I ever was playing with you when that glitch happened.
No, that was
there was a lot of.
That was right when the Clone Wars, when Geonosis first dropped. That was the first major glitch that happened when the Clone War stuff first dropped, and I had to stop playing for
Battlefield. Battlefront 2.
Yeah, Battlefront 2.
Battlefield.
Yeah,
same company.
I'm sorry, I was getting so confused.
Yeah, no, I had to stop playing for a little while because I was playing with my coworker Brandon, and I said the same thing. He's like, "What the hell is this? How come these guys already have heroes?" I'm like, I don't know.
I know what the world needs, George. To answer your question, it just occurred to me. The world needs KOTOR 3. We need Knights of the Old Republic 3 because I want a new Mass Effect game. Everybody wants a new Star Wars game. Everybody wants decent, good canon in Star Wars story. So that's the blending of both worlds. If EA is going to hold the Mass Effect and Star Wars properties, give us Knights of the Old Republic 3.
So I had something to comment on that, but I'll let Aviator say his thing first.
Oh no, I was just gonna say in Dead Space 4, EA.
Yeah, great point.
Bring Dead Space 4.
So my thing is, do you straight away make KOTOR 3, or do you do a soft reboot to fit it within canon and then maybe change up the gameplay? Because I know people who love the story but do not want to play through that gameplay. I like it, but I can understand wanting a more action style of Fallen Order.
Oh yeah, I would say do a reboot remaster. Like, I mean, God of War for PlayStation 4 basically did the same thing, right? Good. No, dude, I'm sick. We'll talk about that later. But Austin sent me some enlightening but also upsetting news via Twitter. Either way, more on that later. So yeah, it's like So like I keep saying Mass Effect because I like Mass Effect more than Star Wars. I'll be honest. But like Mass Effect 1, I loved it, but the controls were crap. But Mass Effect 2, it got like streamlined a little bit, was more action combat-y, but it was also just fun. It was like more fun. You still had the same level of depth with conversations, morality choices, alignment choices, but it was more streamlined and tailored towards the third-person action combat elements. So it's like something like that with KOTOR, where they just streamline. Like EA has good ideas, like EA making things more action-oriented. They've got the Battlefield series. Those are not bad things, but when they premium content you to death, or they like rob the creative direction of the like studios they actually hold or creatives, then it's like
and some of their optimization also, because like Fallen Order is not good on PC. It's pretty choppy. Like I can play it fine, but it's still you could tell there's like dropping frames or movement isn't very right.
It's even kind of like that too, though, on the PlayStation. Like, there's times if you go to an area too fast, like, yeah, it takes a little bit for like the scenery to kind of catch up. But
it stutters.
Yeah, it stutters basically. But other than that, I've never had a problem with Fallen Order doing anything like that for me, at least. Because, I mean, I guess to add to what everybody's saying, I guess for me, what I want out of a Star Wars game, I want it to kind of do more like lore stuff, like to kind of add to the lore, because I mean that's one thing I've heard is KOTOR does really well, is it's so lore driven that it just adds to everybody's love for this franchise. And I mean I think that's what Fallen Order did. I actually thought Fallen Order did a really good job adding to this world that I guess me, George, we love so much. I mean, it's so good.
The only problem I have with the game is that the characters kind of are pointless, the side characters and the little conversation bubbles. Like KOTOR, literally everything you did kind of mattered, especially in the sequel. By the way, they're both like really cheap on Steam. I recommend getting them. Like they're usually go on sale for like $250 during winter. So whenever
he doesn't have Steam.
Yes, I do, Ethan. Joke's on you.
Get Steam if you don't have it, and get those games because they're really good, especially with mod packs.
Isn't KOTOR free now? You sure? I downloaded it.
You might have gotten it for free during a sale or a special, like maybe during Epic Games, because they give away games for free. I remember they did that once, actually, Epic Games. But on Steam, no, it's not free. Huh. The Old Republic, the MMO is. Maybe that's what you're thinking.
Let me see what I have. I have something.
Because the Old Republic is free, and KOTOR was free on Epic Games for a little bit.
Yep, that's what I have. I just have the Old Republic. I thought it was
that one's good
Old
too.
Republic.
Okay. No, it's same universe, but 1,000 years later.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'd like out of a Star Wars game, man. It's just to add to the lore, because, like I said, Fallen Order, it did so many things right, but it also scares me that they're going to be making a sequel now, because this game it brought so much. Like, it brought us 5 years after Revenge of the Sith, like getting to see how the galaxy's facing everything since Order 66, and even getting to see Cal, getting to see, his side of the story and what he went through, all his trials and tribulations to become the Jedi that he eventually becomes in the game. So that's what I want. I need some deep storytelling, because that's what I thought Fallen Order did just perfectly well.
Well, and that's kind of how, I kind of compared that to how I love Call of Duty games. Like, nobody cares about the lore. Me, I like a good storyline in a game, but everyone's all multiplayer, go in and kill each other. The only video game I give an exception to that is like Overwatch. I could care less about that. I don't know why. It's just how I am with that. But,
I would agree with this story.
right. But nobody cares about storyline in games like that anymore. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody cares. You know.
Well, wait. So that goes into the topic I want to talk about. But yeah, no, that. Okay.
Well, we'll save it for that then.
Yeah.
I guess the last thing I would say is since we talk about KOTOR, I want KOTOR either remastered or a reboot. What other Star Wars games would you want remastered or rebooted, and what would you do with it if you could have a choice in the matter?
Ooh.
You can also say KOTOR if you want, and what you'd want to do with it also. If you want to be easy, which is what I'm going to do.
I mean, I would, man, but like I said, I haven't played them yet, so I'd be lying to you if I said I would. If I could have any Star Wars game remastered, I will say, man, my guilty pleasure was the Episode 3 video game. Like, I love the lightsaber action in there, and I mean, granted, the voice acting wasn't, like spot on perfect, but I've always had a soft spot for that game, man. I'd love to see that remastered.
Okay.
I'm still going with KOTOR 3. I'll be honest, I've never fully played KOTOR 1 or 2. That's like why I'm saying I want to remaster or a reboot, is because the game systems were like a little archaic to me. It's like, okay, like back then I could see playing this and it being fun, but like right now I'm just wanting more of an action RPG. So seeing that but having the same level of depth for moral decisions, is where I would want to go.
Travis?
I'm trying to think. I guess I've never really done with Star Wars games. I think I've played is Battlefront 1 and 2. I don't think I've played I haven't played the new one or any of the older ones. I'm relatively new to the Star Wars, franchise. Since Austin kind of introduced me a couple of years ago. But I think, and quote me if I'm wrong, Austin, didn't we not play an older version of a Star Wars game at one point in time?
We played the original Battlefront 2.
Oh, cool.
Okay. That was, I think, that one I liked. I guess, I don't know, I feel like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong totally, but I feel like at least Battlefront 1 and 2 almost feel more like Call of Duty-esque to me, as far as
I highly agree with you. I agree with you.
I would like something with a really nice storyline. Like, I'm playing Call of Duty Black Ops, Cold War, I think it is.
I just got it.
It's only a 7-hour campaign. It's literally only a 7-hour campaign, and then the rest of it's multiplayer. Like, I would like something a little bit more in depth than just 7 hours. I think I've
like
played
the first Black Ops.
4 hours of. What's that?
Like the first Black Ops.
I guess I don't remember if I ever played the campaign of that one.
Oh.
But I just know that I don't mind the multiplayer part of it. Like, I love, the multiplayer portion of, Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2 and even Call of Duty. But I guess for me, I'm used to playing single player games outside of the Call of Duty and Star Wars. So I would like something with a really, really deep storyline, and it's going to take me longer than 7 hours to play through.
Pound it.
I guess that's where I'm at with it.
Pound it, Travis. Pound it.
Where's my camera?
Take out your camera.
I highly suggest Fallen Order than Travis, because, like I said, man, that was a phenomenal game.
If you want like an old style game, maybe also a Jedi Outcast or Academy. That's kind of like the Half-Life of Star Wars almost.
Huh.
And Ethan, we haven't gotten one from you yet.
What?
We haven't gotten an answer from you yet.
What was the question?
What game do you want rebooted or remastered, and what would you do, like, if you could be like change something about it, or what would you do to modify it or whatever? So
it can be any game.
Star Wars game.
Oh, a Star Wars game. Boy, that's a tough one for me. I would probably. I would probably say the first Battlefront. But what would I change about it? I would probably. So what engine is the first Battlefront made from? Because if I could, I would probably use the Unreal Engine.
Oh,
I think it might have been Havoc. I'm not
Was
sure.
it Havoc? Okay.
Oh, is
I
it
would-
Pandemic? I think
I
it's
don't know.
Pandemic Studios, isn't it?
Yeah.
I would use the Unreal Engine because, Austin, like video games outside of Star Wars, like Outlast, the new Spyro trilogy, Crash Bandicoot, they all use the Unreal Engine. I've always been that engine has never failed me. That is one thing I would change with the first Battlefront. As for the mechanics, like the different way of playing it or what I'd add in, I don't know. All I can tell you is if I were to remaster it, I would probably replace the Havoc engine with the Unreal.
Okay.
That's
so
all
I
I
got
have,
a
though.
little bit of insight for you.
Maybe
According to Google, it says Frostbite 3.
Frostbite. I was trying. Okay,
Okay.
there we go. I knew there was another.
That's right.
Now I can't remember. Does the first Battlefront give you an option to switch between first and third person?
I never played it, so I can't.
I
give you a straight
think
answer on that.
so.
I don't know about Battlefront 1, but I know Battlefront 2, you could do that, but it looks way better in third person.
Right. I would probably just, give that option to switch between. I know it's very vague, but just give the option to switch between first and third person. Boy, God, like I said, guys, I don't know what to, like gameplay wise, it was good, but the only thing I could think of is to improve the graphics just a little bit. But that's all that can come to mind. Other than that, leave it the same.
Huh.
Leave the mechanics and the gameplay just exactly alike. But I'm sure people would probably be like, "No, dude, you gotta
be pure."
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, I don't have an answer for that.
I'm gonna take the cheap route, like King said in KOTOR, clearly. But I would soft reboot it, maybe even slightly change the name so that way people are like, "You like KOTOR?" And it's like, "No, I like the new one, not the old one." So maybe like Warriors of the Old Republic or something, and then build up to that third game. I would try and hire for changes. I would. Definitely the combat. I would want a Fallen Order style thing, but with companions actually being able to do something. Maybe add some new characters, but if I could rehire all the old voice actors, it wouldn't be the same without having Karth or Bastila's voice being Karth or Bastila or Jahani. And that's my question.
All right, cool. That was a fun one. I mean, it makes you think, man, like what the possibilities are when it comes to Star Wars. I mean, I know Ethan, Travis, I know you two are more like, the casual fans of Star Wars. And even Andy, you're starting to come around, man. You've been really into like The Mandalorian. We've been having a lot of fun talking about that. And you've been slowly getting into Clone Wars and Rebels and all that. And I mean, I'm still a little upset that you don't like the new trilogy, but
I will say I think Rogue One was my favorite Star Wars movie so far.
It's Andy's favorite Star Wars movie.
Is it? All right, found it.
Yes.
I would probably agree with that. Austin, I think you know what
I love Rogue One. I love Rogue One, but I forget the characters every time. That's why it's like not my favorite. Like I don't remember their names like at all.
I forget what was the blind guy's name again?
Trip Imwe.
That's right. Why are you putting a bag over me? I'm blind.
What are you doing? I am blind.
I'm blind.
I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. Like, I love Rogue One too. It's my fourth favorite Star Wars, but man, I gotta say, man, this one's still my favorite.
Well,
Empire.
you gotta love that they brought James Earl Jones back for Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Well, the voice him, yes.
Yeah.
The voice, yeah. No, to actually be him.
Vader, man, you look like you put on some weight.
Episode 3 and 4 are my favorite.
Episode 3 is my second favorite Star Wars. That's so good. Andy, just admit it. The Rise of Skywalker is your favorite.
I've watched it. I've watched it again, and I don't dislike it as I did the first time watching it compared to Last Jedi.
The thing I hate the movie. I'm just saying, like, why wasn't it good? You know what I mean? Is like, I'm not. It was a good movie. It's just.
Travis, you're breathing really heavy again.
I think it's because this is very
A hot topic for him. A hot take is brewing.
Every time we do a review in The Mandalorian, he always brings up the new trilogy, and I always have to give him a hard time about it because he's like, I don't like it. It's stupid. I'm like,
I didn't say that, man.
I will say I didn't like how they made Snoke a clone. Like they made him. Like they made multiple Snokes. I did not like that at all. He should have been one entity, and that should have been the end of it. But then Palpatine's like, I created Snoke. So it's like, no, he should have been just his own guy.
Mm-hmm.
I can agree with that.
I would have made him just some sort of force that was like an empire that was out in the far out reaches of the galaxy, and then they.
I probably would have made him like stronger than Palpatine, but then Kylo Ren like slices him in 3. And Last Jedi, it's like, well, where did that come from?
Well,
yeah.
And that's what sucks is like that movie was like that whole fight scene was cool. I mean, like The Last Jedi, like I think The Last Jedi had some of my favorite scenes, if not my favorite scenes, out of the new trilogy, if not the entire Star Wars franchise. Like, which sucks because it's this legitimate love-hate relationship for me.
Yep.
The visuals of that movie were amazing, but the fight scene that you're talking about, the one after he dies, right?
Yeah, the throne room fight scene or whatever.
A lot of, if you watch it again, you'll notice a lot of the extras, the actual stunt people. They have to wait for like that main actors to get in their spots. So you see them like standing, waiting for the hit.
So
that's like one of
like a freaking video game or action movie where every man takes his turn or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Well, like there's like spots where like they gotta wait their turn to finally get attacked. So it's like a little bit of rough choreographing. I guess they didn't have time or whatever.
So Austin, which is your favorite then? Episode 3?
Episode 5.
No. You're still holding on. Let go. Sorry, I had to make that reference.
Sorry, Ben. All right, Andy. Let's get into your couple of questions.
So I guess the first question on my mind is going to be, what if you like a quarantine, like COVID season has been long, guys. Like, what have y'all been playing? What have y'all been playing video game wise, or have y'all been keeping yourselves busy?
So, well, like Travis, I've been playing kind of through the Call of Duty games since Black Ops Cold War came out. I have actually been going through. So I bought Black Mesa, which is the remaster of Half-Life. I've been playing through all of those games, and it just really lit my love for that series. It really was. I mean, personally, I think that's like best video game of all time. It had a pretty good storyline. Maybe not the first one, but the second one, it really expanded. I've been playing through the old Fear games that came out like in 2005. Yep.
That has been a long time.
Yep. And I've been playing through Outlast again because I'm preparing for Outlast Trials. And I've also been playing Dead Space. I'm kind of more of a horror kind of, psychological video gamer.
Have you been playing The Forest at all, or
which one?
The Forest.
The Forest?
The Forest. Like Forrest Gump.
No.
Really?
I haven't even heard of that.
The Forest, it's like it's a survival sandbox game. It's like horror based.
When did that come out?
A couple of years ago, like 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Coming out with a sequel soon.
Is it indie, or who's the developer?
Yeah, it's like, I'd say it's like kind of indie, right? Like it's not a big game. You crash land on this island. You get separated from your son. You're trying to find them, and crap goes horribly, horribly awry.
That kind of sounds like the first Silent Hill, a little bit. Except I'm assuming that this one doesn't have a twist. But I've also I bought the Ancient Gods for Doom Eternal, so I've been playing through those again, and Wolfenstein, all those new ones. Spec Ops: The Line, started playing that again. I mean, I've been gaming nonstop. Austin hates me because I converted to PC gaming.
I don't hate you. I just don't like you as much.
Right. So, hey, dude, PC is the way to go.
Hey,
that's why I'm never going to get a PlayStation 5. I've
always said it, man. Everybody's got their own, tastes, I guess. I've grown up playing PlayStation. So
and mine are right.
I no
Character flaw.
If it makes you feel any better, I think Austin converted me from Xbox to PlayStation. So there's that.
Nice.
You're welcome.
I think you were probably the reason why I converted from Xbox to PlayStation.
Well, it was funny because Gabe Newell, who, if you guys don't know, is the founder of Valve. He was asked one time, like, obviously he picks PC over as the ultimate gaming device, but he was asked one time between PlayStation and Xbox which one's better, and he said Xbox. So, but I kind of disagree with that. I think next to PC, it's PlayStation.
Didn't he then, like, the next year, like, do an apology thing and then release Portal onto PlayStation?
You know, I don't remember the apology part, but yes, he did release Portal to PlayStation.
Because he actually went on stage for the PlayStation thing.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I don't remember the apology part, though.
That was kind of his apology.
Oh, was it? Well, the joke is he can't count to 3. He can only go like 4 and above because they never make a third installation with any of their games. So
Because you were talking about horror style survival games, it's like there hasn't been a Left 4 Dead 3.
yeah, I've been playing through Left 4 Dead 2 again because they did that update where you can have Counter-Strike weapons now and some new melee weapons. It's been pretty good, and I've been playing Among Us. That's obviously the big one now. And when I'm imposter, I totally suck at it because I can't act worth shit.
To the joke about not counting to 3, I doubt you play Dota 2, but you can get packs for the announcer, and they did a Gabe Newell pack, and he couldn't say triple kill.
Oh, is that when he was doing the voiceover?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw
that was for Dota 2.
Yep, I remember.
They also have a Rick and Morty pack so you can have like Rick and Morty as the double kill or voice or whatever.
Nice. But yeah, those are the games I've been playing.
Oh, hey, Submoney was asking, what do you think of The Last of Us 2?
Shit.
I haven't played it.
I've heard enough bad things about it where it's like I don't want to touch it. The only thing I've seen cool about it is that you can play the guitar, and someone did the song. So maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me.
Wonderwall. Beautiful. I have to admit, some money. I haven't played it. I want to, but I also want to play the first one.
You've never played the first one?
I bought the first one, and I keep forgetting to play the first one.
Andy, get out of here.
I don't have a PlayStation, so I can't play it.
And Andy, come on.
That attitude.
You guys, come on.
I'm only halfway through the first game.
Yeah, see, come on, give me some credit here.
Of Last of Us?
I can't.
I'm trying.
It's over. No, the first one was phenomenal, though. I mean, to me, that was one of the best video games of all time. Troy Baker he did such a great job as Joel. And Ashley Johnson, she did a very good job as Ellie.
You know, fun fact, for those of you who don't know, I had Nicole Tompkins on here a few weeks ago. She worked alongside Troy Baker in the Middle Earth Shadow of Ages, I think it's called.
I do remember her saying that in the interview, yes.
Yeah, he's like the director of that game.
Troy Baker is considered kind of the god of voicing video games.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like something like that because he played
him in Nolan North. I guess.
I was about to say Nolan North. Yeah.
Yep.
I think he portrays the Joker in Arkham Origins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 2 of them.
I was gonna say Arkham City, but that was Mark Hamill.
Yeah, no, that was Mark Hamill. I think he even portrayed the Joker in like a few of the animated movies too, here and there.
Yeah.
Maybe, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can't remember. I remember somebody saying that to me, but George, what have you been playing since quarantine?
Gary's Mod, Counter-Strike, occasionally Minecraft now and then. Something called Dota Underlords. It's basically a cover game. Really good game. It's actually like fun. You can play that for like half an hour, play 2 games, and then you're done. Yep. Valorant now and then. I'm in a community where you know the show BattleBots at all, anyone?
Yep.
I'm in a community where we recreate that in a video game with mods and make our own YouTube shows.
Was that kind of like Gundam?
That is so niche.
No.
No,
Oh.
BattleBot.
Okay, you know like Mythbusters, right?
Yeah.
They used to compete in that. It's basically
Oh.
robots on wheels with weapons, and they.
Oh, that
attack each
okay.
other.
Yep. Oh God.
The thing
Sorry.
you
I was thinking it was like an anime or something.
No. I've actually built one in. Hold on.
Are you thinking of Metabots, Ethan?
You just have it.
Are you thinking of Metabots?
I could be. Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
believe you just brought a Metabots. Dang, man, that's unearthing some stuff in me. Holy crap!
Man, that's a good show. Oh, it's so good.
Metabots! Whoa!
I'm actually, and then I've also played the mod packs for KOTOR 2 that restore the content that was cut.
Nice.
Travis.
Other than that, I think that's it.
That's it.
Oh. So we've already talked about Call of Duty Cold War. That's what I've been playing lately. I picked up a game probably towards the early part of the quarantine. That I guess is going to fall into my topic probably, but I picked up a game called SnowRunner. I'm not sure if any of you guys have seen that. Basically, it's like an off-road GTA kind of game. In a sense, you have to do a bunch of missions. I think there's like 3 different regions. And each region has either 3 or 4 maps that you can play on. I was playing that for a while. I was playing Grand Theft Auto 5, like I've been playing probably since 2013 when it came out. But I haven't played that as much anymore.
I'm surprised no one said Assassin's Creed. Did that kind of just die maybe a little bit? I don't know.
Assassin's Creed died after the 3rd game.
Yeah.
To me,
I think Austin and I were just talking about that night that I don't think I played a single Assassin's Creed game.
I played 3. I played 3 and I did not enjoy it, even though I love the main character. That was like one of my first ever cosplays before playing the game. But yeah, it didn't make me feel sympathetic to the character. I actually thought the bad guys were right.
In Assassin's Creed
3.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
I heard Black Flag was really good though.
I had a buddy Kyle. He played that pretty regularly for quite a good while. Yeah, he said it was pretty fun.
My buddy Logan did too. We roomed together in college for a bit, and I'd come home, he'd be on the couch, just straight up taken to the high seas or whatever, just singing shanties and all that. Yeah, Black Flag has a lot of open world content, from my understanding.
I wanna play Sea of Thieves. Like,
what happened to that game?
It's still happening. Like, it's still pretty popular. It's just you can only, for the longest time, you could only get it on the Microsoft Store. Now it's finally on Steam.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of surviving on the PC side, I guess.
Yeah.
I thought it was on Xbox too.
Yeah, it was mainly a Microsoft game because it's made by Rare, the people who made Banjo-Kazooie.
Yep.
And it only was on that for a while. Then PC slowly got it through the Microsoft Store. Now it's finally on Steam because Valve and Microsoft are kind of getting a working relationship going again.
Good.
What else do you play, Travis?
I'm trying to think. I've downloaded some of the PlayStation free games. The biggest one that I guess my oldest daughter, not my little one that was in here a minute ago, but my oldest, she's been starting to play Minecraft. So I got her playing that. She's on creative mode because, gosh forbid she can survive the crawlers and zombies and all that fun jazz without freaking out. So, but she's on creative mode and she absolutely loves it. I think outside of that, I've played Spyro a little bit. I played Spyro probably pre-quarantine. But mainly it's been lately, Call of Duty. Austin and I started playing Warzone quite a bit, so that's pretty fun. But I guess the one I've played the most is probably that SnowRunner, which I can probably get into a little bit more detail later.
Okay. Yeah, I've been kind of all over. I know earlier before quarantine, I was playing Detroit Become Human.
Yeah,
I have that. Yep. Oh, phenomenal.
That was a great game. That's probably one of the better.
I would love if you can bring Brian Dietrich or Deckert on the stream.
I will only say, man, I reached out. We'll see what happens. Unfortunately, I got a little greedy now with getting the mocap and voice actor for Jill Valentine on here, so now I'm getting a little greedy.
Now he's getting cocky.
I gotta find more. I gotta get more. And to Andy's point here, he brought up earlier, I've been replaying through God of War 2018, and last night, after 7.5 hours of grinding, I beat the Valkyrie Queen.
Dude, you know what? This is bullcrap. No, dude. You didn't even know there was a Valkyrie Queen until me and Ren brought it up on the freaking Mandalorian podcast, man. Like, that's not fair.
I knew the Valkyrie Queen was. I replayed through the game again, and I found the first one on accident. I'm like, what the heck is this? And
you didn't know there was a queen, though, dude. You won because I paved the way. I walked so you could run, dude.
Oh man, I ran a lot farther than you did, buddy.
Hey, you gave him the opportunity and he took it.
Oh man, oh yeah, dude, no joke. Like from about 10 o'clock till almost 6. Like
Holy shit,
dude, hours.
That is not like you.
Hours to beat this. I'm gonna say to beat this bitch.
Dude, I wouldn't have brought it up if I thought you were actually gonna do it. Like, I don't want to be that guy, but come on.
Oh man, I did it. And guess what? How long is it taking you to beat her, Andy?
It's been like 2 years.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Dude, yeah, it has been one of the most satisfying boss battles I have ever beaten. Like, that was no joke. I came like this close. Like, I could have farted on her and she probably would have died. But then she got her last little swipe in and I died. And 4 hours later, man, 4 hours later, I finally did it. I took her down.
That's how it was when I was playing Doom Eternal and fighting the Icon of Sin at the end. That took me like nearly a half hour without dying. It was so tough because you're on top of a skyscraper and you're fighting this giant fucking like 1,000-foot demon and fighting other demons at the same time. It was crazy. But Austin, good news. You'll be happy to know that Kratos is available on Fortnite now. You can
man.
Fortnite.
Yeah, him and Mando.
Just kidding.
I'm only going to play it again if they bring the lightsabers back, because that's the only time I've had fun in Fortnite. Like, it was actually cool to have, like, there was one time the storm came in, and me and this other dude were fighting each other while running away from the storm. And it was like almost machinima style quality of a fight, like the fan machinima stuff you would see. And I ended up winning and just escaping the storm.
Oh, wow. God, Austin, I'll never forget the first time you and I played that. We built that really huge ass house and we were waiting a good 10, 15 minutes for something to happen. Then when we finally found the enemy team, they're like, oh, they're right there. But we finally died.
Yeah.
This was fun.
Yeah, they annihilated us, man. I'm trying to think what else I've been playing. I replayed through Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 7. And obviously I played Resident Evil 3. That was my most hype game for the year. I beat that in about 4 hours. Yeah, Warzone, Black Ops Cold War. I've been playing that. Spider-Man on Ultimate Mode on New Game Plus. I've been playing that.
Nice.
Still hands down, man, my favorite game of all time. Like, it's
really,
yeah, to me, it's the straight up definition of a perfect game, in my honest opinion.
Fair enough. No, and I love it, but dang, nice.
Yeah, so good.
Also, what do y'all think of the Far Cry series?
I think I played the fourth one.
Never played a game.
Yeah,
never actually played it.
I played the fourth one. I thought it was all right. It just
somebody.
No matter, I guess I don't know. It's really hard to explain it. It just.
Somebody said it was Grand Theft Auto mixed with. I can't think of it. But yeah, I've never gotten into the Far Cry series.
Grand Theft Auto 4 like, it is.
Go ahead.
At least the fourth one, I would say, definitely felt like there was some Grand Theft Auto 5-esque going on with that.
Mhm.
I just got to a point where I couldn't continue anymore. Like it wasn't fun anymore. So I think I got maybe like halfway through the game and I just walked away from it. And I don't think I've turned it on since. But
I don't
it's
know.
one of
Me
those
with
games I feel
open-
like you almost have to play with somebody, and if you
Right.
don't have like a partner to play with, I guess in my perspective, I'm not very good at video games to begin with, but I guess it's one of those games that I feel like I would have to play with somebody for it to be.
Is it just because it's so open world that you kind of have to have someone to keep you occupied? Because I heard it's a pretty open world map. It's like Assassin's Creed. Like I love Assassin's Creed, but then there's like a while like you kind of get bored or not bored, but there's just so much to do and you kind of like lose track of stuff. I don't know that.
I would say it's almost on the line of what was it? Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon, just the like the open worldness of it. And there's so many different things you could do at one time, and I felt like if you didn't do it a certain order, it just didn't make any sense.
Right.
And then plus, I'm not very good at video games. Again, I can't say that enough times. That I just feel like, just like with Ghost Recon, I feel like it's something you had to play with somebody to get the full benefits out of it.
I mean, that's how I feel about Skyrim. Like, I still haven't beat the story mode. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I have hundreds of hours in Skyrim, and I have never beat the story. Wow. There's just so much side quest stuff to do. Like
I'm gonna tweet that. And he's never beat Skyrim.
just like he's never played The Last of Us.
Hey, I haven't played The Last of Us either, but it's just because I don't own PlayStation.
Gosh.
See, Andy, you're not alone. We got you, man.
Jeez, I'm glad to be in good company.
Yeah. There, we'll do the fist bump with you, Andy. Come on, don't leave us hanging, man.
There we go.
Yeah.
Some Captain Planet crap up there.
Yeah.
Did you take a picture of us?
No, I didn't. Absolutely not. And I'm not going to post it on Instagram too, if that's what you're thinking.
I better get tagged.
Okay. Sorry.
So how about you, Andy? What have you been playing since quarantine?
I know. Yeah, definitely more than I should. This game I was wanting to play for a while came out called Hades. My favorite video game studio is Supergiant. They're the guys who did Bastion and Transistor and Pyre. Actually, I've got all three of their vinyl soundtracks for each game on my wall over here. And I pre-ordered one for Hades, but it's like a roguelike style game. You're the son of Hades, and you die over and over and over and over again trying to break out of Hades. It's awesome. You get different weapons each run. You get different upgrades and everything. Then I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima, and that's where I was talking about my love of single player games is I like being able to just tune out and either A, have a good story, or B, just do some Akira Kurosawa samurai battle stuff. It's incredible.
That's what I've heard. Yes.
It's and there's an Akira Kurosawa mode. So you can, the game goes full black and white, I think, except for blood, and then full black and white, and it's only Japanese dialogue, with English subtitles. So I also really I love that about the game is they have Chinese voice actors and Japanese voice actors as well. That's really awesome to me. And Dota Underlords. Been playing a ton of Dota Underlords. I think at one point me and my buddy just went over to one of our houses and just were doing duos together for a bit. Which is 2-player mode. Moonlighter.
Okay.
Moonlighter. So But what were you gonna ask, sorry?
In Underlords, do you play more the standard version or knockouts?
I like to do standard when I have time, but if I'll be honest, if I'm on the toilet or about to go to bed or something, I'll just knock out some duos. Just so that I don't go to sleep in the middle of the game or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, standard. I love knockout. My bad. I love standard or duos personally, but yeah, knockout's great for session gaming.
Yeah, that's the version I do mainly, and I try and focus more on the magic characters. Those usually get me in the top 3 always.
Man, I forget the quick characters, rogues
or assassins probably.
Rogues and assassins. I prefer getting crit chance up and then making my characters as fast as possible, increasing their speeds. Scavengers or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, the one with the feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Savages. That way you get everyone fast. They've got higher chance to crit. It's awesome.
I love Slark, but I very rarely get to use him. He's one of the assassins with the dagger. He looks like a fish. He's one
George, I love the way you described that. The one with the feet.
There's a logo with feet.
Yeah.
For the characters. So each character type has a logo, and the one he's talking about has a feet picture.
No, my bad. You're right. Feet, right. Feet is the one I go. That sounds weird. Trolls. Feet is the trolls, and those are the ones that you could go for. Yeah.
I like feet. I'm sorry.
I like
just kidding.
Okay, so you're the guy who made iCarly. Good to know.
No.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good.
Hey,
that's great. That's great.
So that's an interesting idea from Sub Money. Is if the Ghost of Tsushima team did a Star Wars game.
I think you know what it would have to be. I think if they did that, it would either have to be a 1313 or a Republic Commandos type of game, and it's a little bit more like horror-ish. I think if they were to do that, because I think it would fit the hardcore style of gameplay. Because it's sort of like Dark Souls, right? That game, like in terms of hardness.
Yeah,
I think that aesthetically would work. Sorry to interrupt.
No, I agree, Matt.
Yeah, Matt Razzler, Red Dead Redemption 2. This is my coworker, man. He has been playing this game like since it came out. Like,
good.
That and Fallout 4. He always tells me I need to buy Fallout 4, but
I would agree with Fallout 4.
I can't play Fallout 4. Fallout 3 trumps Fallout 4 for me.
See, like I hear.
Is it 76?
No, 70. I don't. I refuse to touch 76. I like Fallout 4, but Fallout 3 is incredible.
I guess I couldn't really play 76. I tried it, and it's just not for me. Fallout 4. I've never played Fallout 3. I was really introduced to Fallout with 76, and then
I love Fallout Vegas.
A buddy of mine.
I want to play that so bad.
Oh, it's so good.
I've seen gameplay that actually does look pretty cool.
I want to get into it because I saw a character called Joshua Graham, and I was like, okay, this character seems dope, and now I want to learn more about it. It's never going to get finished, but I have some like acquaintances I know called Rich Alvarez who do like YouTube shows where it was like fan fiction and whatever, and they were doing a Fallout series called Elwood, and it was starting to look really good, but then they kind of ran out of money and gave up on it. If you want to watch the first 2 episodes of it, it's pretty decent. Fallout Elwood.
Yeah, I'll have to look that up.
Mm-hmm. I recommend it. The bad guy in that has got like the best voice. Like if you're into voice acting, I won't touch either. Fallout 3 was outstanding. I love the new Vegas, but it was so dang glitchy for PS3.
No. He's thinking of Rainbow Six Vegas. That's what he's thinking of. That's what you're thinking of, right, Matt? Don't you dare diss my Fallout.
Oh.
Wait, there was a Rainbow
Six Vegas.
Oh yeah, okay. I think I remember that now.
Yep.
Andy, you're muted.
There.
I guess we're gonna have to read your lips when we watch it back.
Oh man, no. I was gonna say I heard about I don't think I played Fallout Vegas. I mean, no. My friend told me about it. Like he liked it more than Fallout 3. But yeah, I mean, Bethesda games have like a history of being glitchy as heck on PlayStation. I think, like even Skyrim, like its first release, like the remaster edition, didn't do too hot.
Well, they just throw it together and then just submit it.
Yep.
It's writing that saves Bethesda. It's either really great or it's really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And lately, it's been really bad.
Speaking of Bethesda,
the Fallout series. I think the Fallout series is where I got introduced to Bethesda. I don't think I ever played a game prior to that.
Speaking of Bethesda, I always kind of question whatever happened to the Quake series.
They made a free one, Quake Champions or whatever, and it's all right.
I'm almost wondering if Rage was kind of like the successor to that.
Oh, I forgot about Rage. Was Rage 2 any better than Rage 1? Because Rage 1 just felt like a high-end tech demo almost.
Personally, I think Rage 2 was way better. It kind of made you feel like you were in Doom without actually being in Doom.
Sick.
If that makes sense. I mean, you're fighting more alien life than you are demons. So.
Oh, whoa.
That's another game I started too, thanks to Ethan. I started playing the 2016 Doom. It's not bad. I just haven't gotten too far in it, unfortunately.
Whenever they make Doom 3 for the reboot, if they don't have Isabel, I don't consider it canon.
No, Doom 3 is kind of like, at the time when it came out, it was awesome. But now that the new ones are out, now it's like people are looking at it like trash.
Well, I'm saying if they make a Doom 3 for this new reboot, if it
I
doesn't
thought-
have Isabel, I don't consider it canon.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking like the Doom 3, like the.
No.
Then Andy, you had another question too, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. So this is going to sound weird. My question was about the state of indie comics in movies and TV shows. So I guess y'all's thoughts on it, right? Everyone loves Marvel and DC, but now we're seeing stuff like this comic called Invincible by Image Comics. I love. It's getting a TV, an Amazon animated series adaptation. The Boys was based off indie comics as well. I mean, same guy who did Preacher, and that also got adapted to shows. So I don't know if y'all had any thoughts on some of these comics getting adapted, or like the direction you think that they are going with this. I mean,
I love it because personally, I
That's
love DC and Marvel, but now that it just people look at that as being the only comic book series there is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, excuse me. Like there's DC and Marvel, and then there's nothing else other than that. Dark Horse, I don't know what. Besides The Crow, I don't know if they've done another.
Yeah, they did Hellboy. There we go.
Hellboy. Yeah, that's right. Was Blade a comic series too?
Blade was Marvel, though, I thought.
Yeah, Blade's Marvel.
Blade's Marvel? Okay, I thought it was Dark Horse. But yeah, I mean, absolutely. If they stay in the same direction as the comic, if they change like little like characters' names or anything, that's not a big deal. But if they stay on the right path, such as plot wise, yeah, absolutely. I think they need to do more of that. But like I said, the problem is that Marvel and DC always drown them out. They don't have, it's kind of like DC and Marvel. You have Republican and Democrat, but there's no third party. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's the problem. Like I love indie comics, but DC and Marvel always shadow them.
Yeah.
This is the only political thing I'm ever going to say. Technically, we are not a two-party system. We actually have multiple parties. They're just the only two that get attention. So when people say we have a two-party system, we don't. That's the only political thing I'm ever going to say.
Right, and that like Invincible, Dark Horse, that's the same thing. They just kind of get shadowed out. But I think it all depends on the money too. Who's got the most money? That's why there's more Marvel films. Like there's at least 2 Marvel films that come out in 1 year compared to DC, where it's like every 2 to 5 years.
And to be fair, that's kind of the point, right? It's like, I mean, in terms of like, DC is owned by like Warner Media, and then Marvel's owned by Disney, and those are both 2 mega entertainment powerhouses. So realistically, they're on the same playing field, but Marvel just has a better foothold in the industry. You know what I mean? Is they got it together, they take risks, but they at least stick to the trajectory.
I think the only way Disney is going to match with Marvel is keep doing their own stories like they did with Joker, like their own concealed stories.
Yep.
And Wonder Woman.
And I mean, so that's another weird technical thing. Is Submoney was saying I like DC because it's very dark. Is technically some of those indie comics I mentioned are by Vertigo, which is DC's like dark sub-label. So you had characters like John Constantine and The Watchmen, and V for Vendetta was published under that too, that are like published under Vertigo. So they're technically DC comics.
I thought V was Dark Horse. I keep thinking that was another Dark Horse comic, but anyway.
So actually, that's the thing, is it's weird. It could have been, because sometimes these things like get published under like one publisher or a smaller publisher, like even Top Cow or something. Then they get like bought out later or like transitioned. It's weird because you think about the fact that Dark Horse used to do the Star Wars comics, and then Marvel has them. So I don't even know how many of the Dark Horse comics are canon anymore.
Well, Dark Horse, I kind of think is a little more realistic. Marvel definitely goes way out there to throw out imagination. But next to Dark Horse, when it comes to realism, I think DC does have a little more realism with their heroes and villains. I can take the Christopher Nolan trilogy, the Batman trilogy, that they took, like the joke with Heath Ledger's Joker. Instead of having bleached skin, he just had makeup. Or like Scarecrow was just like a doctor, but with that gas to. I guess he had that in the cartoon too, but he was more of a realistic like psychologist, he used a burlap sack, whereas like Scarecrow in the cartoons was a full-on Scarecrow costume. But they add more realism. I'll give DC that. They have more realism.
Yeah.
Well, even older movies that are based off of indie comics, like The Mask, Jim Carrey's The Mask is just so different compared to the comics.
I didn't even know that was a comic.
Yeah,
Really?
It's a very dark, like gritty comic. Like it's like that anime you brought up, Ethan. It's like that dark, like with The Mask.
Oh, Violence Jack. Yeah.
Also, Spawn was a comic.
Spawn, Dread, The Crow. Ethan brought up earlier.
There's another one we talked about. I'm trying to remember it. V for Vendetta, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
There's also Scott Pilgrim.
Yep. That's one of my favorite comic book series of all time.
What about Watchmen? Is that DC?
So,
Watchmen's DC.
Technically, yes.
Watchmen's by the same dude who did V for Vendetta and League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, Alan Moore. And I think he's the guy who created Swamp Thing and John Constantine. Because John Constantine was introduced in like a Swamp Thing comic, then became his own thing later.
Even Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that's originally a comic book.
Yep, no, I do that part.
Yep.
And I don't know if any of you guys have seen it, but the movie Two Guns with Mark Wahlberg and Denzel Washington, that's based off a comic.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that either till Saturday. Me and Andy were talking about this, and I looked it up. I'm like, huh.
And I think Ren is the one who brought up Road to Perdition is based off a comic.
Yeah. I remember him saying that, something like that. Yeah, I'm kind of with you and Ethan. I mean, I feel like these kind of comics should get more love and attention than they do. I mean, like you brought up, The Boys. I haven't seen that yet, but I want to because I've heard nothing but good things about the show so far. So
it's all about sponsorship too.
True.
If you have a sponsorship, then you're good to go. Otherwise, don't count.
So kind of like a Mystery Men almost.
Yeah.
The movie that originally had your All-Star before Shrek did.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Man,
I forget about. Oh man. Okay, wait a minute. I can't believe I got to do this. Yeah. Okay. Sub Money says Spawn would beat Darkseid. Man, that's just fundamentally untrue. Like, I mean, you know what? Nah. This is sorry. We're here for Austin. We're here for your show's anniversary. We're not going to get into this.
how about this one? Batman versus Wolverine.
Okay, that's like, isn't that a hot topic because Bat and the Sun did a video so many years ago and people are bringing it up again? Isn't that
Batman?
Prep time is not a superpower. Like everyone's going to say, oh, Batman had enough prep time. If Iron Man had enough prep time, it's like, that's not a superpower, man. Like, oh man.
I think Batman has enough knowledge, though, to figure things out. He could get away at least.
Wolverine has literally resurrected from like just his skeleton after being incinerated. Like he's one of the most overpowered characters in like comic book history. It's not even about Batman being a great superhero. It's just about Wolverine having some of the thickest plot armor of all time.
What about like his like Darkseid armor though, or whatever?
Oh yeah,
like Batman's Darkseid armor.
Yeah, the Hellseid could probably actually take him out.
That's like the constant battle between who would win between Goku and Superman.
Goku.
Superman.
Superman. Well, Goku's constantly getting while Superman is already there.
Well, that's the thing. So Goku is similar, right? Similar footing because Superman can absorb yellow sunlight, right? But like that's how he gets power. So if he absorbs more yellow sunlight, he gets more powerful, which is the one of the plot points of why he's dying in All-Star Superman. He basically gets super cancer. He gets so much. I know. Yeah, I said that in one of my first YouTube videos. And, we had to edit that scene out.
If you could have any superpower.
But yeah, so,
that sounds like a Tom Scott thing.
But the thing is, the more vibrant the sun is, like the more different types of power he gets. So if it's like a white hot sun, he gets incredible amounts. If it's a quasar, he gets even more powerful. You know, I'm not going to act like I know all the astronomy, but basically Superman's like powers are like just basically godlike. Especially Superman 1,000,000 basically becomes solar energy and has a Green Lantern ring. You know.
Yeah,
so,
but 3 words. Actually 4. Goku, God, Super Saiyan, God. No. Yeah. No, Super. What is that?
Super
what is the one with the
Saiyan
blue
God,
hair?
Super Saiyan.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it is.
Super Saiyan God. Yeah.
Super Saiyan Blue.
So I think that'd be pretty close to beating Superman. But
I'll give you this. I'll say that Super Saiyan Blue couldn't do it, but I'll say that Super Saiyan Blue Ultra Instinct might be close. Like I would give you that. And with Kaioken. Wait, is that
Kaioken?
Kaioken. Yeah,
Kaioken.
Like Kaioken Ultra Instinct Super Saiyan Blue. I mean, because he can do it. So I'd say that could beat Superman or would come close.
All right, I got a number for you guys. 0.001%. That's Shaggy's power to beat both of them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Mastered Ultra Instinct, Goku would win. Just ask Jiren.
Jiren was a team fight, dude. Like, I mean, Android 17 and Frieza had to get involved for that crap, man. Like, that's not fair. You know, like the tag team battle.
Handicap tag team match.
Yeah, right.
Sting comes down from the rafters. He came back actually recently.
He
came out of
did.
retirement.
He's what, 61? He came back? That's insane.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, right.
AEW.
That's so weird because a couple podcasts ago, me, Andy, and Ren, we were talking about wrestling for like a good 15 minutes, man. It was wow. That's just ironic and weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Gotta love it.
Yeah. So Travis, let's get to your question.
I guess we kind of already talked about mine a little bit, but what is everybody's favorite video game genre? Like, what's your most favorite type of video game?
I think I kind of said mine. I'd say more psychological / horror.
You're good, Matt. Man, I love it. No, I love it.
That's a good grouping of type of games. Those mess with my head too much though, so I don't tend to get into them.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, man. I still like my multiplayers once in a while, but I'm just more just RPGs, any kind of RPG. As long as the story's good, I'll get through it. Like Marvel Spider-Man, God of War 2018, Resident Evil 7. I'm going to say that's my favorite Resident Evil out of the entire franchise. I mean, a lot of people give me that. Really? Like, I didn't grow up with the originals, but I still like the story. I still like the atmosphere and everything.
You had a chance to, though. You had a chance.
I did, but I didn't take it, man. I'm sorry. Yeah. I mean, RPGs probably, just as long as they got a great story.
I'm gonna go with that too. I mean, especially since we live in a day and age. I want to sound intelligent so bad, but yeah, since like every game's got like some level of like RPG elements to it now, and I'm okay with that because I like RPGs, you know. But yeah, story-driven RPGs, especially like the ones that I mentioned, Bastion, Transistor, Pyre, Hades, they're all like really story-driven RPGs. But Supergiant has yet to make a sequel to any of their games, so that's nice. Is I like when you create a game that could warrant a sequel, but is a perfectly self-contained like universe. You know, like you've told enough of a story to leave you wanting more, but you don't feel compelled to have to flesh it out more as a video game studio. So yeah, but also with replayability. You know, like a new game plus. There we go.
If I made a video game, I would make Austin the primary the primary protagonist. I was gonna say antagonist. I guess it could go either way.
It's the anti-version of him as the bad guy.
My character's name is like Dustin or something instead.
Just like that one weird RPG game that came out that was like supposed to be a retro style that everyone hated. I can't remember think of the name of it. The character's name was Josh or something.
No Man's Sky. Oh, never mind.
That
Say,
game
guys-
is good now. That game's good now.
I know. I like it. I hate that they took away the original soundtrack because I really like 65 Days of Static. So,
Hey guys, I'll be right back. I got to use the restroom.
Okay.
Andy, my buddy Matt texted me in
yeah.
a few weeks. I think next week we're going to be doing a podcast. Me and him. We're going to be talking about the Dragon Ball series, and he wants you to watch because he really wants to hear what you got to say.
Oh boy. Okay. Give me a time and a date. I'll tune in and man, get ready for keep your eyes on the comments. I'll tell you that much. Oh gosh.
Fair enough. Gosh, I mean, I guess prior to really starting to do like multiplayer, I started off with, I guess, like racing kind of. I used to play like Midnight Club Dub Edition a lot when I was younger on the Xbox 360. And then other than that, it was pretty much Grand Theft Auto all the way up until Austin introduced me into like the Star Wars games.
Nice.
I think I played Call of Duty a little bit in high school, even into a little bit of college, but a lot of it now is more multiplayer based. I very rarely ever play Grand Theft Auto anymore, outside of playing SnowRunner, which is what I've been playing recently. I was playing Destiny 2 for a little while.
Yeah.
It's mostly now just a lot of multiplayer. I feel like I've started to broaden my horizons a little bit. I would eventually like to get into, like Elder Scrolls, that kind of stuff. I've never touched on that at all yet, but eventually when I can get my hands on a nice gaming PC and start that realm of things, I would like to eventually go that direction. But I would like to think that Austin has probably broadened my horizons a little bit. I can't remember the very first. I can't remember at his house we played a VR game. Help me remember, Austin. It was one of the horror games. I can't remember what it was. It was the very first VR game that I ever played, and that was definitely very interesting. I can't remember what the name of it was, but I think the main antagonist had like the spider sack.
Oh, that was Resident Evil 7.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. That dude, that's an experience. Like, it was really fun, but yeah,
that's an experience of none other. Like, oh my goodness.
Stay away from VR chat.
George,
yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. For a while, I enjoyed it, but you meet some bad people.
Oh, dude, I've seen
and now my game's broken anyway, so I can't play it.
That's sad.
I guess for me, a lot of first-person shooters. Like I'm really into Counter-Strike. Like I was into Overwatch for a little bit, but I kind of gave up on it because I don't like Blizzard much anymore.
Oh yeah.
But Counter-Strike has been a big thing for me. I love story games and multiplayer games. If it's an RPG or whatever, I love a good story. I also love social games. Like for almost a year, the only game I would stream is a game called SOS that you can't play anymore.
Oh,
it was basically a first-person shooter battle royale, where it was kind of like the TV show Survivor meets Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Whoa.
So like 16 people would be on an island in different spots, and you have to make alliances with people to capture these relics, and there are only 5 on the island, and you can only escape the island with a relic, but there are only 3 spots on the helicopter. So with 16 people, multiple groups of different alliances, if you have to decide to an alliance with someone, you're going to betray someone eventually or get backstabbed by your partner.
Dude.
That you choose to have made out of these strangers or not. It was such a good game.
What happened to it?
That sounds very interesting.
They turned it into a normal BR. They started favoriting certain streamers. Then they tried to bring back the old version, and they eventually ran out of money, and you can't play it because you had to play on their servers only. The biggest thing that came out of it was H2O Delirious made videos of it, and James Ski. And to show off the game on Twitch and get it on the front page, they somehow got Snoop Dogg to play the game. But in reality, it was just him talking to the players, and someone was controlling for him.
Okay, that's pretty clever. Messed up,
yeah,
but clever.
Yes. It was such a good game. I look up clips on YouTube. I'm even in one of the H2O Delirious videos doing a very terrible Morgan Freeman impression. My name is Morgan Freeman. I can smell you. Stealing from Steve Nanners is great.
Still haven't. Oh, another game is I guess favorite video games of all time, right? Like that's. I think someone brought that up. Like favorite video games of all time, right?
Mm-hmm. KOTOR.
Nice.
Marvel Spider-Man.
I almost want to say
That's a really hard decision. I don't even know if I really have a favorite game. I guess right now I'd say Grand Theft Auto 5, but that's. I guess I've been playing it for 7 years, and the very first game I got for my Xbox, I'm pretty sure it's either Grand Theft Auto 3 or Grand Theft Auto 4. I got for my very first Xbox. So I would say it's got to be the Grand Theft Auto franchise for me. But I was really starting to like Destiny 2. I was really starting to get good at that. And I don't know why I walked away from it. I don't know. It's one of those games that you get going at it. You start getting in a grind, I guess. Somehow I walked away from it. I regret it because now try to go back and play it again. It's like, oh, it's not as good.
Did you? Are you talking when you say you got into Destiny 2? Are you talking OG Destiny 2? Like you start from the beginning, or?
I guess I'm not sure what you're asking. Like the.
Oh yeah, like day one.
I
guess when it first came out.
Oh no! I just started playing it probably within the last year.
Okay, cool.
I'm pretty sure it was a free download from the PlayStation Store, and I turned it on one day and I started playing it, and I played with a good friend of mine, and I liked it. It was almost to the point where I didn't feel like I had to play with somebody else. Like I felt like I could just jump in it and go for it. But then for whatever reason, I walked away from it, and I kind of wish I wouldn't have. But
no, I was asking because I seen a lot of stuff from Destiny 1, and me and some friends all played Destiny 2 day one, played it for a couple months, and just got done with it. And I mean, we played Destiny 1 for years, so yeah, I don't know. Destiny 2 didn't have the same polish for me either.
Well, we'll ask Ethan when he gets back, but I guess we'll get on to our final topic. So, obviously, again, with the whole quarantine thing, we haven't been getting any new movies from out in the theaters. So, the last movie that I went to the theater to go see was The Invisible Man, and that was back in February. What's your guys' thoughts about movies going on to streaming instead of going into the movie theaters?
If they're making money for it and it can help continue the business during these hard times, I'm fine with it. I don't see a problem.
I've got mixed feelings because, yeah, George, I agree with you 100%. Is whatever moves the industry forward, right? Like if you can have movies like Dune coming out each year, of that high production quality, and just based off of streaming, or shows like The Mandalorian, then freaking go for it. But at the same time, I do kind of hate the idea of seeing cinemas closed down, right? Of seeing actual theaters closed down. Like me and Sean Chandler, right? He texted me out of nowhere on a Thursday. He's like, "Hey man, I got tickets to go see the new Jackie Chan movie, Vanguard. You want to come?" I'm like, "Didn't know there was a new Jackie Chan movie. Yeah, let's go." So we go to the AMC, right? We go to the AMC theater, brand new, got built last year. There's, I think, 7 people in there. 2 of them are working behind the concession stand. 2 of them are checking for tickets. 1 of them's already in the theater with us. Then it's just me and Sean. This was in the theater. And that's scary. They built this theater last year. So it's scary to me to think of we already had a local chain or whatever, Flick's Brew House closed down, and Alamo Draft House down here in Texas ain't doing too hot either. So it's scary because these things are kind of cultural staples,
Well, and I think AMC just closed down locally, right, Austin?
Yep, it closed down here back a couple months back, man. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna say it, man. It's a very ghetto theater that we have. Dude. But we have 2 theaters. We have that, and we have one called the Grand Theater, Grand 22, and
that's a Midwestern company, the Grand. I mean, when I was down in Lincoln, Nebraska, they had a Grand.
Oh, what the heck?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I mean we still have that. I mean, I would prefer going to that theater anyway, but it's just I miss
You
more.
cried when they shut the AMC down.
Dude. Them
He was
ticket
in
prices.
tears.
Them ticket
Yeah.
prices were hard to beat. Like $5 to go to any movie, like even all day long. And that big bucket of popcorn, you fill that up for $4, man. You can take popcorn home.
And I miss.
I always snuck food in.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I did that once, but I got caught.
Take me away, coppers.
I used to take a big dome and put it underneath my shirt so it looked like that I was pregnant, but I actually had food in it, and they let me through. No, I'm kidding.
Dude, I'd still put Slim Jims. I'd like straight up have either a Red Bull or a full Mexican glass bottle of Coke, just like in my pants and like get in the theater. Like I brought that and some protein bars in one time. Then I realized I forgot a bottle opener, so I couldn't even open the Coke.
There's this. I can't remember the name of the comedian, but he had his leg like blown off or something in the war, and he put a full like liter of Coke where the leg is, so it would swing when he would walk. And he was like, "What are?" And he's like, "What are they gonna do?" Sir, your leg. Like, yeah, I know it's missing. And it would just swing whenever he would walk, and they just couldn't do anything, so they just didn't stop him.
Oh God, it's only a matter of time before they hire TSA to work at like movie theaters.
That could have been a possibility after the Dark Knight Rises, but it
didn't. Yep.
Dude,
yeah, thank God.
I cosplayed as Bane for the Dark Knight Rises premiere. You know, like I like made the mask overnight and everything. And let's see, I got I posted a picture of myself on Facebook, and I got a couple comments talking about how disrespectful it was to wear a mask, which I mean is kind of ironic living in 2020. So you want to talk about being ahead of the curve, like it's like, yeah, come on, like.
And like a lot of people made up stuff about that, like that he was claiming to be the Joker or whatever when he never did that.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Is he dead now? Did they put him to?
He's in jail, but I don't think he's been executed.
Oh.
I think because of his age, they decided to spare him or whatever.
Oh,
like and just give him life sentence or whatever. So it's like he's in jail for life, but he's never gonna get out.
Yeah.
Life sentence.
Crazy.
That's kind of worse if you want to think about it, because more than likely he's going to be in solitary confinement and his mind's going to go.
Well, that's great.
Even though it's already was gone.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to advocate for what he did.
When you see him in like the court like room, his eyes are just like they look like they're gonna fly out of his eye sockets.
Yeah.
But anywho.
Yeah, man, I'm really torn on this because, like, I do agree with what George said too. I mean, as long as they're making money, I mean, I'm still okay with that because a lot of these guys, they take months out of their lives to just make films. So they're, but at the same time, depending on what the film is, though, I think it's a lot better to experience it like in the theater. Like for a lot of people were upset that Dune's now going to, I think it's going to HBO Max.
Yeah.
I think Warner Brothers just announced that all their films from now till like the end of 2021 are going to be going to HBO Max.
Well,
there's nothing they can do.
Imagine watching Endgame from your couch, like.
Yeah, see, like if that would have debuted and this would have all happened back then, I mean, see something like that, I would have been more upset to like watch at home, but. My big thing is, though, man, if it's a movie I really want to see, I can't see myself spending $30 for one movie. Like, the only way I could do that is if I had, like, a big group of people. Like, it's the only way I think it'd be worth it for me. Like,
yeah.
Like, my family, they rented Mulan here a little while ago when it was...
the movie I mentioned?
Yes, the movie you mentioned.
Yes, Ethan.
But they had a group of people because it was for kids, but like they had like 7 or 8 of them, so it was more worth it. But like if I wanted to just sit down and watch it, I would never spend $30 just for myself to watch it.
Well, absolutely not. I would just wait till it came free to
bullshit. Sorry, I had a nasty cough there. Anyway,
so it's okay, Ethan. I understand.
I guess my take on it is I agree with everybody. Like, if whatever needs to happen to move the industry forward, absolutely. But I guess I miss the experience of it. There's a lot of movies that I've gone to the theater and I just feel like the experience, the Dolby sound, all of that stuff, just what makes it a more impactful experience for me, in my personal opinion. I'm very partial to Fast and the Furious movies. We won't go into that much detail on that because I know how Austin feels about that.
I miss THX playing at the beginning.
Yeah.
Dude, how can you hit the NOS, hit this perfect part of the bridge, and the car just gets stuck and just swings?
Hey, did you know it's a movie?
Spider-Man.
Did you know it's a movie?
Yeah, I do, Ethan, but they're getting so far-fetched, it's stupid.
Dude, I saw that.
It's just meant to be a glorified action. That's it.
What do you mean glorified action? That's... It's
If you saw that in an anime, you wouldn't question it. You'd be like, oh, okay, this is amazing. But just because it's a live-action movie, we can't suspend our disbelief for 1 minute.
I'm not going to watch the movie. I'm just saying that is ludicrous.
Wait, he's in that movie?
Yeah, man, it's the Fast and the Furious.
Oh man, that was a good one. I like that. I like that. That was good.
Listen, I've either got the worst puns or the best puns, and I'm proud of that one.
That was a good one, sir. That was.
I don't think there's no such thing as worst puns, so you're good.
Oh my gosh.
I guess I'm the Punisher.
I love it.
You got the role, George.
Yep. I guess it also does make for some more intimate settings, potentially, like just having your family or even a date night for a new movie, and it feels like a legitimately fresh experience. So, no. And yes, Sub Money, anime is great.
Anime is good.
Yep.
Anime is life. What are you guys talking about?
Anime is love.
Anime is love.
See, you guys are on this, where's my camera? You guys are on this end of the spectrum, and I'm way over here. That's something that I just haven't been able to get into. And maybe that's something that, Austin's got to force me down my,
I could make a joke, Travis, but I'm going to hold on to it for
Travis, you kind of look like a One Piece character.
If you want to give anime a shot, I would try My Hero or
Academia.
Avatar: The Last Airbender. Yeah, My Hero Academia or Last Airbender. Or if you want to get really goofy and wild and watch something that's sort of like a B-grade horror film that's gory, JoJo, Bizarre Adventure.
Yep.
Those are the three I would recommend to watch, and then you might have a little bit of different appreciation for anime or not.
I'd recommend something like Cowboy Bebop, Hayao Miyazaki movies for sure, Boku no Pico, definitely some My Hero Academia, School Days, and I'm trying to think. I can't think of another one off the top of my head, but
or ReZero.
Or Makoto Shinkai. There we go. Yep. Like Your Name and Weathering with You.
I suggest the first episode.
Oh, Your Name was so good.
See, Your Name was good, but if you want to be sad, watch 5 centimeters per second.
I would not recommend Fairy Tail.
Open the third.
Fairy Tail's got great storytelling and music, but it's got way too much fan service and it distracts the story. And I stopped watching it because I didn't want to see that anymore. I was like, okay, I'm here for a story, not creepy fan service.
That kind of goes into one of the problems with when we were talking about anime way earlier is otakus and fan base are the problem with anime, because people keep watching the crappy harems and generic protagonist style anime, so that's what people keep making, and then we keep getting the waifu pillows, and it's that's what guides the industry a lot of the time, sadly. But that's why we got a billion sequels for each movie too, I guess. So whatever.
Travis, if I could suggest an anime, just watch the first episode of Food Wars.
Oh dang.
It's one. That's all I could say. It's if you want to go out there, man, that is out there.
I haven't watched it yet. I had the opportunity to audition for this show, but I didn't get the part. March Comes in Like a Lion, I've heard is good.
Yeah.
I wish I don't know what I would have gotten if I did get the
Yeah,
part,
you know
but
what,
this time
Travis?
I didn't.
Start out with Food Wars. Just go with that one.
Okay. I got work in about half an hour, and I need to start getting ready. So
All
I
right.
have
man.
to leave early. Sorry, guys.
That's
It's all
right.
good. Thanks for coming, George. And again, thanks for being on that May the 4th podcast. And hope to have you back on again soon, man.
I'm just a Discord message away.
All right. Sounds
Bye.
good, buddy.
All right. Yeah, see you, George.
Jesus. That guy's awesome. I like him.
Good company. Oh my god.
So, is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Anything that's kind of coming to mind?
I can't think of anything.
I guess please as an aside, please do not check out Boku no Pico or School Days. That was a complete joke.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out now.
If any of my youth ministry kids, my youth pastor, or my girlfriend are on, please forgive me. Don't look that up. Okay, either way, yeah. That's all I got.
Well, I guess if nobody else has any other topics, guys, that's going to be the end of the podcast. I want to thank. Gotta go this way. Here we go. I'm going to get this down sometime. I want to thank Travis for being here. I want to thank Ethan for being here, and I also want to thank Andy King for also being here. This was great fun, man. I hope we can do this again soon, just for the heck of it.
This is fun.
Great.
So I also want to do some shout outs to past guests on here again. Travis, Ethan, Andy, got to thank you guys again for being here, and also just being here on this journey with me, reaching 100 subs. I mean, for a lot of people, it might not be a lot, but I'm still surprised it ever happened. I'm still at the point, if I reach 1,000 subs, I'll feel like my channel actually means something to some people.
Oh,
so.
it does already.
Are you sure, Ethan?
I am sure.
You've got more collabs than I do on my channel. And you got a lot of people. So you're big time, dude. Don't even sweat it.
Yeah, it's doing better than my YouTube channel.
Plus, I haven't put out a actual. I've been so bad about recording, just in the past year, that you have. I know you're working hard, dude. So don't even act like that's a minor thing.
Well,
And I mean, remember where you came from too. Like you started this just to try something different, and now it's actually something you're actually putting your heart into. I feel like, in my first opinion.
Yeah,
dude, this I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. Like, my channel totally started on an accident. Okay, so I was playing Battlefront 2015 with Kyle, another buddy of mine. We were playing on the Death Star DLC, and the last thing I did, I blew up the Death Star, because you do this 3-stage run. You're doing dogfights, then you're inside the Death Star fighting, and then the last one is the trench run, basically. And I blew up the Death Star, and I wanted to just save the picture, because I was the top scorer, and I ended up saving video, and it's on the PlayStation you can save for 15 minutes, or you can go to an hour. So I did that. So I'm like, huh. And then it's when I just decided, hey, let's try out this YouTube thing, and here I am 4.5 years later, and doing a podcast. I got two of my best friends over here. I got a guy down here, and we've been collabing for the last, I don't even know how long. 6 weeks now?
Dude,
You've been doing the talk.
Yeah.
about that. Yeah.
We're on episode 6, and even then we did the Mandalorian season 1 review, and we did a just Star Wars comic chit chat.
Yeah.
And I still need to host you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm available whenever, man. I mean, I've always told you, I like collabing with people. I like doing this stuff, just being able to talk about a lot of similarities. Like me and Ethan, we started our own podcast where we just sit there and we just talk about horror. And
we need to do more of it too. It's side, yeah.
Yeah, our schedules just don't always match up, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens. It's adult life. It sucks. I will say that.
Amen to that.
But I mean, again, man, I mean, Travis, he was here from the beginning. I mean, we did, 15 Battlefront streams together. And Ethan, I've done a lot of gameplay walkthroughs. Yeah, with Ghost Recon. I mean, I played through Outlast 2, Resident Evil 7 with you, and a couple other series, but they didn't last long because I just had no motivation to finish them. Sorry, the evil within.
Yeah.
but no, man, like this stuff is fun. I just like sitting here just BSing with people. It's just fun. And getting able to like geek and nerd out about just random things. And even like my buddy Matt here, I mean, man, I got to interview a celebrity. Like, that is something I never thought would happen in my life, like ever.
See?
Like, I just took a chance. I'm like, okay, what's the worst is going to happen? She said no. And here I am. I interviewed the mocap and voice actor for Jill Valentine from Resident Evil 3, and now I've gotten greedy and I want more. I'm like at an all-you-can-eat buffet, man. I had that sesame chicken, and now I want to try like the Kung Pao chicken and all that stuff.
I remember that phone call when you called me. You were like literally almost having like a girl freak out moment.
Oh, dude, I was.
Like, you called me too, and you were like,
Gosh.
and at first I was like, who are we talking about? And I had to do some research, and finally he shed some light on. I'm like, oh, okay. So that was a very interesting. I'm pretty positive I watched that live, or at least a good portion of it live. That was a very, very interesting podcast. That I really enjoyed that.
yeah, I did too.
I mean, man, if it wasn't for YouTube, I mean, Andy, I would have never met you through Sean, and we'd never be sitting here having this conversation or talking about The Mandalorian. Same thing with Ren. I mean, I wouldn't have met him through Zach being on his podcast. I mean, I met a lot of awesome people on here. Kellen, I don't know if you're still watching, man, but I've done a lot of collaborations with you and Jordan. I mean, man, even Sean Chandler, I got to give a shout out to him for being on my podcast, and Evan of Draco Gaming, who was supposed to be on here but isn't here. So we're gonna have a little discussion about that.
You will be missed.
Yeah. And again, Nicole Tompkins, I mean, that was, again, awesome experience. I want to thank her, too. And
Markiplier, thanks for coming on.
Oh, man, yeah, right.
Off random YouTubers.
Ian, too, I mean, being on this podcast, man, I mean, Travis and Ethan, I mean, we got the guys back together. I mean, you, me, Jeremy, John, I mean, that's the first time we have all been, like, together since, like, man, 2010, 2011. Yeah. It's like 10 years in the making. Like, man, there's just been a lot that's happened with this channel, man. Like, it's crazy. Like, I can't believe it.
You made it work. Congrats, buddy.
Well, thank you. And again, thank you to everybody who's watching. I mean, I know I like basically blew up social media today to get people here to watch this, but I mean, man, I'm excited, man. Like 100 subs. Yeah, I mean, again, thank you to the three of you for being here, and George. I want to thank him for being here as well. And Coco Joe, bro, I forgot to say him, and he was my first Twitch streamer I got to talk to on here. And
oh man, that's awesome.
I mean, this has been like, no joke, one of the best experiences of my life, being able to just do YouTube. Like, again, I never thought this was going to work out. I thought it was just going to be some loser sitting in my basement just playing games and being like, oh, I did good. Okay, let's post this on YouTube.
Dude, the losers in their basements playing games are the ones who are making the most money right now.
Exactly.
Right? Right? And man, I mean, again, I can't say it enough. Like, thank you to, everybody who's been here. Thank you to the 100 and, man, what is it now? The 109 subscribers who subscribe to me. I mean, again, thank you. Like, yeah, thank you. Don't know what else to say, but thank you.
I guess
he says thank you, everybody.
Oh, I guess there's one last thing. If you want to answer one more question, Aoun Syed. I butchered that. I'm sorry, bro. Thoughts on live action Spider-Verse that may be happening with all the other actors?
Ooh, yeah. Let's end it on this. This is a good question because, I mean, Andy, you and I, we talked, man. I mean, Spider-Man's our favorite superhero of all time. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing a live action Spider-Verse movie. I really wouldn't, but I think the animated version just works way better. I don't know what it is, but I just feel like the animated version has more opportunity to grow, and it's just more fun. I just think when it comes to like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. I mean, I've always said this. Tobey Maguire is a great Peter Parker. Andrew Garfield is a great Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Holland, I can willingly say, is
Both?
honestly, yeah, is probably the best Spider-Man, like in all reality. But I have a soft spot for Tobey. So, what is your guys' thoughts on a live-action Spider-Verse film?
Are we talking like the
Do it.
Spider-Verse that just like
Into
the Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a lot of rumors since like this new Spider-Man and even since Into the Spider-Verse that they were going to do a live action Into the Spider-Verse with like the 3 guys who portrayed Spider-Man in live action.
Okay.
I would totally go to that. Like probably on the first night, to be honest.
Oh, I agree. I'd be there day one regardless.
Yep.
I'd go see it, but
I was really surprised by the animated version. I think I would be very interested in seeing the live action version of it.
Well, you know, either way that the live action is going to do just as well, probably even better than the animated.
No, I gotta disagree. Like, and Spider-Man is my favorite hero, but I think the animated version allows you, because you have all the comics and they've got different like narratives, different styles, different artists, and like themes and tones. So it feels like you have to animate that, and that you're not going to be able to capitalize. You have to capitalize via animation. So I'd say I'm pretty like kind of strongly opposed to there being a live action Spider-Verse movie. But I'd also go see it day one, and probably pre-order my tickets online if possible. Because, I mean, if it is good, I want to be there for it, and if it's bad, I want to be there for it.
Yeah, exactly. Either way.
I mean, man, think of how just like big even that first Spider-Man from 2002 was. Like that thing was like a global phenomenon because visually it was beautiful. Like for its time, like nobody's ever seen anything like that, even in like the old school Batman films or even the Superman films or anything. It's like, for me, I look at it is Spider-Man from 2002 is what started the MCU and really like kicked it off. Because like I look at it, man, if we didn't have that Spider-Man movie, I feel like we wouldn't have the MCU. We wouldn't have the Dark Knight trilogy. I strongly stand by that.
Oh, yeah,
comic book movies wouldn't be where they are today.
No, the Spider-Man, I mean, honestly, Marvel from the start has done a lot to Marvel, Sony, whatever you want to say, has done a lot to set the foundation for the MC, not just MCU, but stuff like the Dark Knight and even the DCEU, right? Because they were the ones who put out, Daredevil, Blade, like the original Spider-Man movies, all these things. Even though DC had stuff like, Catwoman. No, like without that original Spider-Man movie, I definitely agree we would not be at the state in the comic book movie industry that we're at.
I mean, again, man, day one, I'd be there to go see it. Like either way, I would go see it. It'd be good. I feel maybe, but let's keep it animated though.
No,
for now.
Yeah,
I'll let up a little bit and say, yeah, it's possible. I'm not going to say I'm strongly opposed to it. Just I don't want to lose that special quality of the animated one,
Mm-hmm. It's unique. It's something new, like that nobody's ever really seen before. And I mean, is it Chris Miller and Phil Lord? Is that the names? I always feel like I mix them up, but
no, it's the names.
Those 2 guys. Fun fact: they were supposed to originally do Solo. They were making it apparently. Yeah, they were trying to make it more into like a comedy because I believe they also did the 21 and 22 Jump Street films.
Yep.
Okay.
Man, I actually do love those movies. Those are
so freaking funny, especially 21. I love that one so much.
They've got no right to be as good as they are.
They don't. I never thought, dude. I had no hope to see that because of Channing Tatum, and he ended up being probably the best part of that film. He was so hilarious.
Channing Tatum surprisingly does well with like comedic roles.
Yep.
He does. I don't know what it is, man. He does so good.
My name's Jeff.
My name is Jeff.
So all right, guys. I guess with that question now being answered, that's going to do it for the podcast. Again, once again, thank you to everybody who's been here. Again, I want to thank George, Travis, Ethan, Andy. I mean, again, man, you guys have been a pretty big part of this. So, like, this is just great that you guys were here to celebrate this with me. So,
Oh, dude, pound it.
Dude, thank you for having us.
Fuck you.
yeah. Wow. Wow. You're just going to do that? You're just going to leave me hanging. All right. I'll remember that.
Well, in all fairness, we'll be here and you hit 200. So.
Oh. And hopefully 1,000 and hopefully 1 million.
Oh, boy.
Absolutely.
Woo! 1 million.
Now someone hopefully wouldn't work ever again.
Woo!
All right.
So, all right, guys. I have linked Andy's channel down in the description below. Make sure you guys go head over and check it out. I also I found out George had a YouTube channel with like 9 subs. So go give George some love. Go over there. Give him some of that SPC love. Travis and Ethan, you guys don't have YouTube channels, so I can't shout you out, but go follow them on social media. Go send them some love too. And again, I want to shout out Ren Geekness, Sean Chandler, Coco Jobro, Nicole Tompkins for all being here on my podcast. Alan, John, who am I missing? Jeremy, that guy. Yeah. Thank you guys all for being here, and thank you to everybody who's been here in the chat, being very vocal. It's been great. So I guess with that being said, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.